Kiel.
President Obama spoke by telephone with Doctors Without Borders International President Dr. Joanne Liu to apologize and express his condolences for the MSF staff and patients who were killed and injured.
There was no indication of how Liu took the apology, with her organization calling the Kunduz airstrike a war crime. Mr. Obama has the utmost respect and admiration for the work Doctors Without Borders does in the most inhospitable places, including war zones. Ernest says,
The president assured Dr. Liu that the Department of Defense investigation currently underway would provide a transparent, thorough, and objective accounting of the facts.
The administration has taken more of an apologetic stance since the top general in Afghanistan revealed the final decision for the airstrike in Kunduz was made by American commanders. The president also called Afghanistan's President Ashraf Ghani, according to his spokesman. Bob Costantini, Washington.
10 past the hour on America in the Morning. Republicans in the House of Representatives go behind closed doors to take the first step toward electing, they hope, a new GOP House Speaker today. Terry Moore is on Capitol Hill.
Kevin McCarthy, the House Majority Leader, is a heavy favorite to succeed retiring Speaker John Boehner. McCarthy's been hounded by a recent suggestion that the House Committee on Benghazi was created to hurt Hillary Clinton, the Democratic presidential frontrunner. McCarthy's been trying to walk that back for several days.
Benghazi is not political. It was created for one purpose and one purpose only: to find the truth.
And he was pressed about the original statement during a Capitol briefing.
I could have been more clear in my description of what was going forward, and I've stated that. But there's only one reason why that committee was created.
Speaker Boehner, meantime, defended the Benghazi committee.
Benghazi's committee is about what happened before, during, and after a terrorist attack in Libya. The American people deserve the truth about what happened, period.
Meantime, majority Republicans in the House shut down Democratic efforts to disband the Benghazi committee. In the Speaker's race, California's McCarthy is being challenged by Utah's Jason Chaffetz, chairman of the House Oversight Committee. I'm Terry Moore on Capitol Hill.
10 past the hour now on America in the Morning. A city in big oil country wants to take the lead in renewable energy. We'll look at that and more on America in the Morning, back after these messages.
How fast are Allegra gel caps?
It's raking the leaves and loving it fast.
How strong are Allegra gel caps?
I'm running with my favorite workout partner, Strong.
Non-drowsy Allegra gel caps give you noticeable relief of your toughest allergy symptoms. It starts working in just 1 hour, 2 times faster than Claritin's first dose, and stays strong for 24 hours.
It's saying yes to pick up football with the guys, Strong.
Allegra gel caps. Nothing's faster, nothing's stronger. Among OTC oral antihistamines. Use only as directed. Visit Allegra.com.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. With one phone call, you'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information. It's a free service, so call now.
800-391-1755. 800-391-1755.
Join us this Saturday for the Delmarva Potting Shed. I am Valerie Cordry, one of the hosts. Every Saturday from 9 to 11, Jake Smith and I will be broadcasting live from East Coast Garden Center. Be a part of our lively discussions about plants, landscaping, garden design, and all that's new and exciting. We'll sprinkle in some gardening guests to excite your interest and keep you up to date on the many interesting gardening happenings.
And the Delmarva Potting Shed brought to you by Lawns Unlimited, the exclusive mist-away dealer on Delmarva, installing misting and spraying systems to control insects for residential and commercial lawns. Call 645-5296 today or visit lawnsunlimited.com to get started. Also brought to you by Stokely Materials, providing high-quality pavers, retaining walls, decorative stones, sand, soil, and mulch with 2 locations, Route 113 in Georgetown and Route 9 in Lewis. Don't miss the Delmarva Potting Shed this Saturday from 9 to 11 here on Delaware 105.9.
Delaware 105.9.
13 minutes after the hour now on America in the Morning. Let's check in with AccuWeather.com meteorologist Courtney Spamer.
For the most part, no major travel delays are expected for today. However, one area to watch is a cold front moving through the northern plains and Great Lakes for today. This front will bring periods of rain for Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa early today, then spread into parts of Michigan as well as Missouri and Illinois for the afternoon, including major travel hubs in Chicago. Some minor delays will be possible in any heavier rain or a thunderstorm. This front extends all the way back into parts of Wyoming and South Dakota, where there could be some rain heavy enough to reduce visibility for drivers in the area. This front could also spark some showers and even a thunderstorm or two into the evening across the center of the country. Some heavier rain will develop across parts of eastern Kansas and Missouri for tonight, bringing some minor travel delays. Another area that could see some heavier rain today is western Texas, where an upper-level low that helped to bring monsoonal moisture to the southwest yesterday shifts eastward. This could bring some heavier thunderstorms to parts of southeastern New Mexico and into west central Texas throughout the day that could be heavy enough to bring flash flooding across the region. Although there could be a shower or thunderstorm again in the Florida Peninsula today, travel delays are not expected. We'll see some fog in the morning across parts of the Northeast and Ohio Valley this morning as well that could cause some minor delays. But the rest of the country is expected to stay quiet today with no travel delays expected. In Philadelphia today, a mix of clouds and sun. We'll see a high of 75 for the afternoon. Roswell, New Mexico will be mainly cloudy today with some rain and a thunderstorm, a high of 68. That's the nation's weather. I'm AccuWeather.com meteorologist Courtney Spamer.
Thanks, Courtney. The highest temperature in America yesterday, 97 in Death Valley, California, 20 degrees the low at International Falls, Minnesota, and in Atquixuck, Alaska, 4 degrees the wind chill factor. 16 past the hour now on America in the Morning. Michael Toscano in for Jimbo Hannon. And this morning we find Alanskaya in Denton, Texas. It's an oil town that wants to trade in black gold for something a bit greener.
The city of Denton is about 40 miles north of Fort Worth. Right now, Denton gets about 40% of its electricity from renewable sources, like wind and solar power. The city hopes to increase that number to 70% by 2019. Denton had already hoped to reach that goal by 2030, but the mayor there has now moved up the timeline. About 10% of the electricity in Texas comes from renewable sources. The grid in Texas is separate from the east and west coasts. Other cities in Texas have been increasing their reliance on renewable power as well. Austin and San Antonio are growing their solar power presence. The city of Georgetown, north of Austin, hopes to cut non-renewable energy use entirely. The mayor of Denton says that's not a reasonable goal. He says unpredictable weather in Texas means the city will need to build a gas-fired power plant to pick up the slack. Denton says the gas-fired plant will cost $220 million, but says its residents would save $500 million over the next 15 years through cheaper rates. Last month, wind farms in Texas set a record for generation and briefly drove the wholesale cost of electricity to zero. Alanskaya, Denton, Texas.
17 minutes past the hour now on America in the Morning. In baseball playoff action last night.
Little check swing, and for the first time in 12 years, the Chicago Cubs have a postseason victory. They win the wild card game, blanking the Pirates 4-0.
Ernie Johnson of TBS with the call as Jake Arrieta of the Cubs shut out Ernie Johnson at Pittsburgh in the National League wild card game. Again, 4-0 the score. The Cubs now move on to play the St. Louis Cardinals in a best-of-5 divisional series starting on Friday. This is a little bit of competition, too. Janet Jackson, Steve Miller, Chicago, and the Cars among the first-time nominees being considered for induction next year in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Cheap Trick, Los Lobos, Chaka Khan, and James Brown fame backup band will also be on the ballot. Coming up at 18 after the hour on America in the Morning, Thursday Morning Business, a look at California's new equal pay law coming up when we return right after these messages.
I'm terrible with money. Apparently, a PhD in physics won't help me predict the trajectory of my own retirement. So I work with TIAA-CREF. You get quality, personalized advice no matter what your balance is. For me, they make investing as easy as Newtonian physics.
Advice for everyone. One more way TIAA-CREF is created to serve and built to perform. Visit TIAA.org. TIAA-CREF Individual and Institutional Services, LLC. This testimonial is an actor portrayal. Advice is subject to institutional plan rules. Investing involves risk. Individual results will vary.
At Geico, we've been innovating car insurance for over 75 years with forward-thinking ideas like online quotes and the Geico mobile app. And to prove it, we'll play one of our first radio commercials from 75 years ago.
By Jiminy, Geico could save you money on your car insurance, which is what we'll be doing over 75 years from now. Who knows, maybe with some sort of application that's accessible on a futuristic handheld device. We'll call them online quotes.
See? Forward thinking.
Geico, saving people money for over 75 years.
With CudaSign, paperless e-signing is a no-brainer for any business that requires legally binding signatures fast. That's because CudaSign offers everything you should expect from an electronic signature solution for just $1 per month. CudaSign cuts document turnaround time as much as 90%, thanks in part to its #1 rated mobile app. And CudaSign's secure cloud stores documents for on-demand tracking and retrieval. Get CudaSign now for just $1 per month. Go to CudaSign.com. That's CUDASIGN.com.
Gary, why aren't you outside enjoying the party?
Hey, Michelle. It's this heartburn. When it hits, it really hits hard.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's it. I've had it. I'm gonna kick acid with Rolaids.
Rolaids Advanced goes to work instantly for powerful relief of your worst heartburn, bloating, and gas.
Wow, you're packed fast.
Yeah, I feel much better. Now this is a party.
Kick acid and gas with Rolaids Advanced.
20 past the hour now, and time to check in on business. Here's CNBC's Tom Busby.
Good morning, Michael. Today marks the unofficial start to third quarter earnings season. And kicking things off, former Dow component Alcoa, which used to be a pretty good barometer of the industrial economy. That company expected to report profits were cut in half last quarter, thanks to falling prices for aluminum. Also out, we'll hear from Domino's Pizza and the restaurant chain Ruby Tuesday. But the big report Wall Streeters are excited about is minutes from the last Federal Reserve meeting on interest rates, where the central bankers decided not to start hiking rates. Today, investors will go through those minutes looking for what the reasoning was behind that decision and any hints about when liftoff will finally happen. The head of Volkswagen of America will be on Capitol Hill getting grilled by lawmakers about the automaker's rigged diesel emissions technology. And the Department of Transportation is out with its monthly airline scorecard, looking at how all the major carriers performed on things like on-time performances, flight delays, and lost baggage.
The dollar slipped to 119.85 yen from 119.97 yen in the previous day's trading. The euro climbed to $1.1258 from 1.237. So, Tom, you mentioned that the new CEO of Volkswagen is going to be on Capitol Hill today. He's going to take his medicine, I guess. What are you expecting?
Well, the only thing we know ahead of time comes from prepared remarks that Volkswagen Group of America CEO Michael Horn will read as his opening statements before House lawmakers today. He's going to apologize for the cheating again, what the EPA thought were so-called clean diesel cars, but he won't directly address when he first knew about the scam to fool those emissions tests and what he did about it and when. Now, reps from the EPA are also scheduled to testify today, so look for a lot of blame to be thrown around. Even though Horn's only been in charge of VW's U.S. region for about a year, the automaker has still not identified the workers who put this technology in the cars. So far, not many heads have rolled, but they certainly will.
Tom Busby, thank you. 22 past the hour now on America in the Morning. California Governor Jerry Brown has signed into law what is being called the nation's toughest equal pay law. Jim Roop has our story.
It's not that until now, California has not had equal pay laws. In fact,
since 1949, California has had an equal pay law on the books, but it has been inadequate.
State Senator Hannah Beth Jackson is the head of the state's Women's Caucus and the author of the Fair Pay Act. Stats show that women make roughly 20 cents less per dollar that men make. While, as Jackson says, laws protecting against pay inequality have been around for more than 60 years, they've been tough to enforce, mainly because employees are usually punished for discussing how much each other makes in the workplace. This law not only mandates equal pay for, quote, substantially similar work, end quote, even at different locations of the same employer, but gives women a way to legally challenge wages. And there has not been a real mechanism in place to hold employers accountable for the reasons behind the gender pay gap. So what does this mean in real life?
It will mean, for instance, that the female housekeepers who clean rooms in a hotel could legally challenge the higher wages paid to their male janitor counterparts who clean the lobby. It will mean that a female grocery store clerk working at one store can legally challenge why she isn't making the same wage as the male clerk doing the same work at another location just a few miles away. It will mean that an employer will have to show why a female chef is making less than a male chef and prove that those wages are based on job-related reasons and not gender.
Those job-related reasons other than gender are experience, education, and or merit.
This is really a big day.
Governor Jerry Brown signed the bill into law Tuesday, surrounded by female lawmakers and workers and young girls who will one day enter the workforce. And he did it, where else? At the Rosie the Riveter Park.
The inequities that have plagued our state and have burdened women for forever are slowly being resolved with this kind of bill.
How will the law be policed? Well, the State Division of Labor Standards Enforcement will be charged with that duty, or wage inequality challenges can be filed with a California Superior Court. Jim Roop, Los Angeles.
24 past the hour.
Won't you ride in my little red wagon?
Making farms exciting for kids this fall, next on America in the Morning. Back after these messages.
You know all the kids will be jealous.
I spend my days helping others. It's rewarding, just not always financially. So I got TIAA CREF. They were founded to help people like me meet our financial goals. They've got so many industry accolades, it's unreal. I like taking care of people. Sometimes that even includes myself.
Intelligent investing for the long term. Just what you'd expect from a company that's created to serve and built to perform. Visit TIAA.org. TIAA CREF Individual Institutional Services, LLC. This testimonial is an actor portrayal. Investing involves risk. Individual results will vary.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. With one phone call, you'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information. It's a free service, so call now.
800-391-1755. 800-391-1755.
Take Delaware 105.9 with you everywhere by streaming us on your smartphone or tablet. Download the Delaware 105.9 Listen Live app in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store today. Live streaming brought to you in part by Weller's Utility Trailers in Bridgeville, where they sell utility trailers new and used, as well as sheds, carports, gazebos, dog kennels, and swing sets. Give them a call at 302-337-8228 or on the web at wellers.com. On air, on demand, and on your device. Delaware 105.9.
Why waste time running from store to store comparing samples and swatches for your window coverings? Let Budget Blinds, your local experts, come to you. Our design consultants will bring samples, swatches, and styles to you so you can see how they look in your home. Or you can check out different ideas and trends at our showroom on Route 9, 4.5 miles west of 5 Points. From sales to installation, we make the process easy for you. Plus, we service all of our products. Call us at 856-6799 and let us get started on your new window coverings today.
Delaware 105.9.
27 past the hour now on America in the Morning. Meredith Barrick has been on the farm, and she came back with a story about farmers making the farm more exciting for visitors this fall.
The tractor is ready to go.
We've always tried to make our wagon rides a little more than just sitting and riding on a wagon. We want to have it some way that it's entertaining as you're going out through our fields and pumpkin patches and cornfields.
For years, riders would hear the story of Jack, the forgetful farmer.
We're going to meet a really silly scarecrow named Farmer Jack.
It was getting kind of old and dry to us, and even though everybody loved doing it, we just wanted to do something fresh for our sake. And we came up with this new concept of doing a choose-your-own-adventure wagon ride, kind of like the choose-your-own-adventure books for kids.
They wanted it to be audio-based and interactive.
But what is that up ahead? Is that my cow?
Yet still safe for riders. Thanks to Scott's programming experience, he knew just the solution.
So we came up with the concept of let's create an app that allows the wagon ride to basically know where it is on the route at all times, and when needed, play the appropriate audio automatically.
The custom app is only used by Skelly's Farm Market. A GPS triggers the right audio regardless of which path the tractor takes.
Take your hands and make binoculars with your hands.
Now there's just kind of that wow factor of, wow, this is really unique.
Just another example of the future of farming while still keeping that down-home feel.
We made sure to leave parts during the ride where it's just kind of quiet, you can enjoy the scenery, talk to the family. So it's a nice mix of kind of a modern technology and still some of the more traditional, old-fashioned farm things too.
Showbiz birthday today. Actor-comedian Chevy Chase is 72, and you're not. This is America in the Morning for Wednesday, October 8th, 2015. Our producer is Tom Delac. Associate producer and webmaster is Paul Hill. Senior producer is Kevin Delaney. We're at JimboTalk.net, and you can follow Jim on Twitter at Jimbo Talks. Michael Toscano in for Jim, and this is Westwood One.
This is Sheila Setzer of Brighton Homes. We have a new 3-bedroom, 2-bath stick-built home ready for you to move into now with granite, hardwood floors, screen porch, and more at the price you want in the Villages of 5 Points on Savannah Road. And we will pay up to $15,000 in closing costs. Visit us at our furnished model open daily or call me at 703-6633 for your tour today.
Brighton Homes is an equal housing opportunity builder. Prices and incentives are subject to change without notice.
Let's face it, saving money isn't always fun. It's great to save money, but sometimes you want to treat yourself to dinner at a new restaurant or indulge at the spa. You can save money and enjoy life with GetItHalfOff.com. Every week, brand new featured offers hit the online shelves of GetItHalfOff.com. Your life at half price. GetItHalfOff.com.
This week's featured offers include Pat's Pizza with locations in Dover and Lewis, Camp Spooky Gnaw in Oxford, PA, and Tailgates in Newark.
People you know.
One Jared Morris.
From right here.
Wow. Is it appropriate, in your opinion?
Delaware 105.9.
All right, here's Kelly Steele. We're ready to go. Thank you for tuning in. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning, Danny. Dover fire marshals remained on the scene Wednesday night at Legislative Hall in Dover after an afternoon fire caused damages to that building. Along with the Dover Fire Marshal's Office, many crews, including State Facilities Management and several contractors, were seen securing the building and starting cleanup efforts last night. The extent at this time is still unknown. However, the north wing, where the fire originated, had fire damage, and the adjacent floors received water damage. Legislative Avenue, by the way, and some adjacent roads will have minimum access today. Sussex County Public Libraries will be closed today for the annual Sussex County Library Staff Development Day. Staff from the 15 public libraries throughout Sussex will meet at Del Tech in Georgetown for the 25th annual conference. It's a day-long session to study current trends and core services. The libraries will reopen at their normal times tomorrow. CBS News covers the nation and the world next. News time, 5:31.
CBS News update. Computer software was designed to cheat emissions tests in VW vehicles like this one.
The Jetta TDI clean diesel with up to 667 highway miles per tank.
This morning, Volkswagen of America's chief exec goes before a House subcommittee. Here's Capitol Hill correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
In his prepared testimony, Volkswagen U.S. CEO Michael Horn offers members of Congress an apology. He admits Volkswagen software had its cars perform better in testing than on the road. And Horn will say he knew about the potential problem some 18 months before Volkswagen alerted American regulators. Some 500,000 diesel-fueled cars with the modified software have been sold here in the U.S.
CBS's Don Champion on when the Volkswagens in this country will start going back to the dealer.
There is no clear timeline of when a recall will be issued here in the U.S. The EPA has to sign off on a plan first. We do know Volkswagen says affected cars will start being recalled in Europe in January.
CBS News Update. I'm Dave Barrett.
LaBred Health Center is a patient-centered medical home where a dedicated team of healthcare professionals take responsibility for the comprehensive quality healthcare provided to patients and arrange for appropriate care with other qualified providers as needed. Highly accessible and affordable, LaBred Health Center offers pediatric and primary care, adult and senior services including flu and tetanus shots, as well as nutrition counseling, behavioral health services, women health services, and oral health care. LaBred Health Center accepts most insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid, works with people who currently do not have health insurance, and is accepting new patients of all ages. Although LaBred Health Center is not a free clinic, income documentation may qualify uninsured patients for LaBred Health Center's sliding fee scale. Whether you've lived in Sussex County your whole life, recently moved here, or are just visiting the area, LaBred Health Center, with convenient locations in Georgetown, Milford, and Seaford, can help meet your medical needs and become a network of quality care centered around you and your family. Call today to make an appointment at 302-855-1233 or online at LaBredHealthCenter.org.
Thanks for listening to Delaware 105.9 on your radio. And for your convenience, streaming live online. Visit Delaware105.9.com to hear local news and talk for Delmarva online, streaming 24/7. Sponsored in part by Dart First State. Let Dart do the driving. Save money, save gas, ride greener. Bus routes statewide between Rehoboth, Georgetown, Dover, and Wilmington. Delaware 105.9. Streaming live at Delaware105.9.com.
Living a good life means being healthy. But what does it mean to be healthy and stay healthy? It means getting the right kind of care. It means having the right health specialist who can treat you right here. It's having the right partners for services like rehabilitation, mental health, or long-term care if needed. It means having the right hospital to coordinate the delivery of health care to our community. Right care, right place, right people, right hospital. That hospital is Atlantic General. We'll put you on the right path to good health and keep you there.
So, Lisa, did you hear about Helen in HR?
Vicky, I'm not into gossip.
They let her go.
It's none of my business or yours.
Seems she posted the new job opening in accounting.
Like I said, I don't gossip.
And she didn't use DelmarvaJobs.com.
No.
Claims she forgot.
How could that happen?
I mean, was she trying to get fired?
She must have known.
Right. I mean, that is HR 101.
It's the first thing you learn.
Use DelmarvaJobs.com. It reaches thousands of job seekers.
Yeah, lets you post into 5 different categories for no extra cost, and they have a resume database.
And that live customer service to help you write your perfect job posting.
Really? They do all the work for you.
Don't tell anyone.
No, I don't gossip.
Oh, well, me neither.
No, we're just gathering information.
Right.
Busy afternoon?
Actually, I have to post a job. Seems there's an opening in HR.
Do you mind if I tell Tracy in marketing?
You didn't hear it from me.
I would never gossip.
DelmarvaJobs.com. Long name, amazing results.
Remember Jared Morris today at 3 on Delaware 105.9.
The Dan Gaffney Show begins its broadcast day from the opulent new studios of the Delmarva Broadcasting Company's Delaware 105.9 inside the Gaffney Broadcasting Complex. And now, join us as we stand for the playing of our national anthem.
That's a little goofy, especially when you're going into the national anthem.
Michael in Milford is here on Delaware 105.9. Hi, Michael.
Hey, good morning, Dan.
Good morning.
I will give you the short version of my story. I went to a small town, and I'm going to say Harrington, and I got treated real good, and I was definitely in the wrong. I was feeling good that day, just got off work, was feeling real good. Went to my mechanic to get a car that I had fixed on the car, didn't have no registration, pretty much no tags, no nothing.
Right.
But I felt good. On my way getting the car, because he stays close. So I was already drinking when I walked to go get the car. So I was already drunk. Hopped in the car, on my way to a liquor store in Harrington.
Uh-huh.
And when I came out of the liquor store and hopped into this car, that's when he pulled me over.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, why did you pull me over? He said, well, you don't have no tags on the back of your car. And I said, okay.
I just picked it up from the garage. Right.
Well, I didn't give him all that. And so, I was drunk. And so he says, have you been drinking? And I told him the truth. I said, yes, I've been drinking. He said, well, when was the last time you drank? And it was 2 hours ago, which is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said, do you have anything when it comes to this car? So I knew I didn't, but I didn't tell him that. So I'm looking for the stuff, but because I'm drunk, I'm throwing stuff all over the car. Just papers everywhere. And finally, he's just like, do you at least have a driver's license? And I said, yeah. So I give him the driver's license. He goes back to his car. He tells me to get out of the car. And I'm thinking, I'm done now. I'm thinking, I'm done.
Right.
And, yeah. So he has me get out the car. He does those things where, because you don't do the ABCs backwards no more. He had me look at his pen and lift up a leg and count while I'm lifting up a leg, which is hard enough. By this time, traffic is going slow because they're watching me do this big production, which I had no problem. So I'm praying. I'm steadily praying and I get through this thing.
Right.
And I'm begging this dude for mercy, too. Trust me. As I'm doing all this stuff, I'm begging and talking nice, real nice.
Exactly.
So his supervisor comes up, too.
Oh.
And his supervisor is watching.
Hey, wait a minute, sir. Are you black?
Yes, I am.
All right, keep going.
Okay, Dad. So, yeah, just coincidentally, yes, I'm a black man.
That's
right. He was a white police officer, Caucasian police officer, and young at that. And so I'm doing everything he tells me to do, and I'm talking nice to him. And again, he puts a breathalyzer in my mouth, and I know I'm getting ready to blow some numbers. So I put the breathalyzer, he put the breathalyzer in my mouth. I said, well, what the heck? I might as well just blow real hard and blow the biggest number I can blow, because I'm done. And I blow really hard. And he looks at it, and he looks at me, and I look like I'm going to cry because I know what he's getting ready to say. And he goes, no numbers came up. I got to let you go. Bye. And he just walked to his car. He said, yeah. He said, bye, just sit in your car. I'm going to go put up something and come back. And his supervisor is looking at him like he is nuts. And so he comes back to me, and I'm like crying. I'm crying. I can't believe it. And he gives me the piece of paper, and he says, you know what? I'm just going to write you a ticket for not having a tag. And he said, now, if you want, you can go to court and fight it. And I said, there's no way I'm going to go to court and fight this. Because the first thing a judge is going to say, well, then show me that it's registered. Show me your insurance card. I'm going to lose. You know, and I paid the $142 fine, and I left happy and hadn't moved the car since.
And you were treated wonderfully, it sounds like.
I was treated wonderfully. Trust me, I want to give this guy some flowers.
I can understand that, Michael. All right. Well, I'm glad we didn't read about you in the news the next day.
Oh, you got that right, buddy. I'm glad I don't have to go to classes.
Michael, thank you for the call. There's Michael. Stories. That's what it's all about. Stories. Hi, everybody. That was Michael from yesterday. I thought that was a good story. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Danny.
Hi, you, everybody. 839-1059. What's up? Delaware is the land of opportunity, okay? America is the land of opportunity. You've heard that. Do you believe it still? Not only is America the land of opportunity, but Delaware the land of opportunity. Listen to this. This is a story in, I know you all get this publication, the Mid-Atlantic Poultry Farmer. I know you all have that. I'm going to read from here a story about a guy who came here to start a chicken farm. Absolutely no experience. But it's a great opportunity. Listen to this. This is Sean Clougherty is the managing editor of a publication that we read regularly here, the Mid-Atlantic Poultry Farmer. I was do a little light reading this morning. Kelly, have you read this month's edition of Mid-Atlantic Poultry Farmer?
I try not to. It puts me to sleep.
Come on.
I'm sorry.
It's a good magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Good newspaper.
Mm-hmm. I look at the pictures occasionally of all the tractors and the piggies and, you know.
For much of his life, Atif Kurham had his mind set on becoming a doctor. He left his native Pakistan for medical school in Russia and practiced medicine in Pakistan, all in the midst of a 17-year wait for an immigrant visa so he could move to Long Island, New York, and be with his family. He wants to come to America, like a lot of people do. 17-year wait to get his visa. So he comes to the United... Now, I'm reading this guy's work here, the poultry farmer author. He comes to the United States in 2008, working in a doctor's office in New York City and prepared to take a medical licensing exam so he could practice medicine here in the United States. Okay, he wants to be a doctor here. But he failed the very first stage of the exam by 1 point. He was at a crossroads. Does he go for a do-over or what? Let me get back to the article. He says, not eager to go through the exam process again, he looked at other careers and settled on poultry farming. So here's a guy in New York City. He's from Pakistan. He's been to Russia. New York City. I failed the exam by 1 point. What else am I going to do? Hey, let's go poultry farming. It says a family friend, Ghulam Sarwar, was raising chickens in Greenwood, Delaware. And Kurham visited the farm to see how the operation worked. Sarwar guided him through the contract broiler industry and helped Kurham find a poultry farm outside of Seaford. Okay. Last summer, he and his brother bought a 36-acre property with 4 chicken houses on it, July of last year. In that same month, his first flock of chickens arrived. Vegetation and overgrown on the property when he bought it, but the houses were built in 2008 and ready for production. He said, this work you can do for yourself, he said, cleaning up around the house. The houses were in good shape and didn't need any updating. Kurham, 37, said from his work in medicine, he was already accustomed to biosecurity practices used in growing chickens, such as sanitizing equipment, changing clothes to work in the houses, and using the same door to enter and exit the house. He said the advice from his flock supervisor and other company representatives has been helpful. They have resources. They do research. They spend a lot of money on how to grow good poultry. My research is very narrow. When I came here, I didn't know anything about poultry. These are the tools we have to use to grow good birds and do well. Anyway, he comes from New York City, knows nothing about growing poultry. It says in the article, now raising his 7th flock for Purdue. Kurham says he's enjoying running the farm. His commute in New York was at least an hour, but here the good thing is you're at your home. He added, owning his own business became more important to him when he started a family. He and his wife have 2 children. Your business is yours. When you're not here, it goes to your family to be something to build on, he said. Kurham is just one of many recent newcomers to the poultry industry. They may not all have the backstory Kurham has, but they want to improve their lives, and they see poultry farming as a way to do it. See what I'm saying? Does the land of opportunity still exist? It does for these people. He says, right now it seems there are more people getting into poultry. At least that's my experience, said Becky Adams, a loan officer at Mid-Atlantic Farm Credit's Denton branch. Adams said she recently worked with several people who have left jobs as taxi cab drivers or franchise restaurant managers to either buy an existing chicken farm or to buy land to build new poultry houses. The general thinking or comments I hear is the whole quality of life. The hours are better. They have more time with their family and they feel safer. Think about that. Doctor to chicken farmer. The hours are better. They have better time with their family. They feel safer. It says on Delmarva, Mid-Atlantic Farm Credit has 287 beginning poultry farmers as customers. That's just this one place, Mid-Atlantic Farm Credit. 287 beginning poultry farmers as customers. Specialist Jenny Kreischer said, though she added some have been farming longer than other customers. Incentives from poultry companies to build new houses is making a difference in bringing in new growers, she says. With that added money, it cash flows and makes it more viable. Without it, the margin would be smaller and it would be harder to make it work. Kurum agrees and is in the planning stages of putting 5 more poultry houses on his property. How about that? How much can you make on a poultry house? Generally speaking, what are you clearing if you have one house? I'm curious. How much is it? Do you know? I mean, you've worked in this, people listening to me right now. Do you know? This is a live show. I'm talking to you now on this Thursday morning. 839-1059. Anyway, he said he originally considered 6 new houses, but that would require clearing trees, bordering a neighbor. He decided against it. He wanted to have good neighbor relations. If he's happy, I'm happy. Our one house isn't going to matter. So he's putting up 5 to keep a buffer of trees between his neighbor. Along with adding to his poultry capacity, Kurum has a few goats on the farm. He's looking to bring in more as he gets pasture established. He's also close to getting a residential house on the farm remodeled so he can move his family into it soon. That's all taking a backseat to getting acclimated to the poultry operation. First for me is the chickens. This is a business. They give us food. Now, like Sarwar, who helped guide him through the process of growing poultry, Kurum is helping some of his friends find farms or land to start poultry farms of their own. They say, if you get that opportunity, let us know, Kurum said. I thought that was a neat story. Thank you for listening, everybody. 839-1059. 839-1059. Apparently, and I've been hearing this, it's a good time to start chicken farming. And there's a lot of people interested in doing it. I guess the loans are readily available. Incentives from the companies, right? Incentives from the companies. Favorable rates. You can cash flow this thing. In other words, that's what the banker said, right? Which means the loan is favorable enough. You're going to make enough. You can make it work and pay the loan. And appealing. You get to live where you work. No commute. You be with your family. You're in control of your destiny. Hands-on. Can you imagine that? You're in New York City. You're from Pakistan. You don't know anything about chicken farming. You're a doctor in New York City. The medicine thing isn't working out. So let's move to Sussex County, Delaware, and do something we've never done before, run a chicken house. And they're happy doing it. He's happy doing it. Good for him. And apparently many, many newcomers into the poultry industry. Who was it? I think it was Bob Wheatley on our Friday show. Bob Wheatley from Alliance Real Estate Professionals. He's a commercial real estate guy. He's been saying this to me for several months in casual conversation. He said land for chicken houses and poultry farms, it's hot right now. if there's somebody that wants to sell a chicken farm, I mean, it's like, I guess there's a good market for it. A lot of people want to get into it. So there you have it. Land of opportunity. We might be sitting right on it. Many of you may have worked in a chicken farm. You may own a chicken farm. You may be a chicken farmer right now. You've known people that have been in this industry. It's huge. We drive by these farms every day. Does it appeal to you? Is it something you like? Is it something you've ever done? Have you ever thought about doing it? How much can you make? I heard, now tell me if I'm wrong. I was just talking to Colin, our cameraman. Colin, the cameraman from catchitlive.com. Colin, who's operating all the technical aspects to bring us a live stream on YouTube this morning. YouTube.com. Search for the Dan Gaffney Show. It's the live stream. Colin said a figure that I heard the same thing, that about 45, 50 thou per house. Is that what you heard, Colin? Is that what you...
That's what I've heard, so I don't know how
after expenses?
Yeah, I think that's what I've heard.
Right, so if you got a couple of houses, that's maybe 90 or 100 thou a year.
Right. Yeah.
If you got
Not
four houses, you maybe double that.
A lot of hard work, but
yeah,
not bad.
Certainly. Good morning, Delaware 105.9. Hello.
Good morning, Dan. It's Rick from Philly.
Rick, you want to start a chicken farm?
You know, what an amazing quitter that guy is, man. He dedicates his life to medicine. At one point, he fails. How come he didn't go back and smash it into the upper deck the second or third time? Chicken farming, this story sounds sketchy, Dan.
What does it... What
Come
sounds...
on, man. You guy's a doctor, and you dedicate your life to that kind of thing. You're going to start raising chickens because you missed the thing by 1 point?
Well,
that
here's
sounds
what...
like a quitter.
Here's what I hear. That more and more people, this is separate than what we're talking about, but more and more doctors are disillusioned with medicine. They want out because of the way it's being run today. They don't want to be doctors.
I'd say that is a lot. There's a lot of truth to that. But as I drive down Savannah Road 5 times a day and watch these doctors and their $75,000 Mercedes, you know what I mean? It's like they're making the money.
Here's what I think about doctors in general. Not all doctors, but I think they're in debt to their eyebrows, huge student loans, upset at the money-making proposition in the business.
Absolutely. My best friend became a doctor, and he lives in Nantucket Island, and he has his own practice. You're completely engulfed in it 24/7. It's a lifestyle, you know what I mean? They're not riding their bike all over the beach towns every day like I am, Dan.
Right, and they're engulfed in it because they have a huge payment on that. That's really a leased vehicle that you saw. They got a big lease payment on that. They've got their furniture, their very nice home mortgage to pay, the furniture they bought on time. They're paying off the loan to buy the practice and the tools they need to open the business. They've got huge student loans. They got debt up the... No wonder they're doing it 24/7. They got to pay all the bills.
And you throw in the old scenario, the more you make, the more you spend. Now, back to the chicken farm.
Yes.
The only thing I have to say is there's nothing more depressing in my whole life than when I drive down the road behind a chicken truck at 4:30 in the morning, and there's a million chicken faces pressed against the cage looking at you all jammed in there like with a toilet plunger to get the extra one in. It's like so depressing. Feathers flying through the air. But that being said, I eat chicken like 7 days a week, so I'm a hypocrite. Throw it down every way you can think of.
Right. Chicken breast. And chicken is a growth food, man. We're eating it all over. It's a good, fairly affordable protein for the world. It's amazing.
No more consistent meat either. You get a big old steak, you bring it home. It's all kinds of like not tender and lousy, but chicken, you pretty much get the same thing every time.
Excellent call, Rick. As always, Rick's contribution, always enjoyable. Thank you. Good morning, Delaware 105.9. It's Dan Gaffney, and you're on the air.
Good morning, Dan. How are you?
Fine. You want to? Have you ever worked in a chicken farming?
Yes, I grew up with chickens, and when I went into service in '63, up to that point, we had 63,000 chickens.
How many houses would that be?
We had 3 houses, plus we took care of 2 or 3 other houses, and we had one chicken house, a double a double-decker.
Hey, exit question. They don't make too many of those anymore. Did you make money? Yes or no?
Well, we made some money. It kept food in the house, but those days were hard doing because...
Right on. I got to go, Dave.
On Delaware 105.
You know how that is. Kelly Steele, future chicken farmer, right here.
It's my next job, Danny. Good morning. From the Delaware 105.9 Weather Center today. Looks mostly sunny, gorgeous outside. A high of 72. The sun should be up soon. A state lawmaker could enter the 2016 lieutenant governor's race. State Senator Bethany Hall Long has formed a campaign committee for the office of lieutenant governor, which allows her now to begin fundraising, and it also signals her possible addition to a crowded field of candidates. Police continuing to investigate the death of a Dover area woman whose body was discovered in the parking lot of a shopping center. It happened near the Newcastle Farmers Market earlier this week. The dead person, the woman, has now been positively identified as 23-year-old Kimberly Quaid. Again, your forecast today, going to be mostly sunny, a high of 72. Tonight looks clear, an overnight low of 60, maybe some rain tomorrow afternoon. From the first town in the first state, this is WXDE, Lewis.
Delaware 105.9.
It's 6 o'clock.
CBS News, I'm Frank Sedapani. A handshake a little after the midnight deadline sealed the deal on a tentative contract agreement between Fiat Chrysler and the UAW. One union member hopes it's a better deal than the one the rank and file rejected last week.
This company wouldn't be where it is today without our blood, sweat, and tears. So we do expect something back.
CBS's Jeff Gilbert tells us union leaders are keeping the terms of the agreement close to the vest.
All the union will say is this deal includes significant gains over the tentative agreement that workers rejected. Workers objected to pay, schedules, and the possible movement of some work to Mexico. They should see details of the new deal tomorrow and could start voting on it as early as next week.
Volkswagen's top U.S. executive will be on Capitol Hill a few hours from now, apologizing for rigging diesel models to cheat on emissions tests and admitting he knew about it more than a year ago. South Carolina officials say rivers swollen from last week's deluge will continue to pose a serious flood threat for the next 24 to 48 hours. After almost a week of searching, the Coast Guard has decided to stop looking for the El Faro, the container ship that ran into the teeth of Hurricane Joaquin and sank off the Bahamas. Claudia Schultz's husband, Stephen, was the first mate.
Everybody's worst nightmare just came true.
28 of the ship's crew members were Americans, 5 were from Poland. The Pentagon says at least one U.S. military plane had to change its flight path in order to avoid Russian warplanes attacking rebel positions inside Syria. Russia's entrance into the Syrian civil war on the side of the Assad government will be on the table today at a NATO meeting in Brussels. Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg says Russia's involvement is troubling.
We have seen airstrikes, we have seen strikes from cruise missiles, we have seen incursions into Turkish airspace, and of course all of this are reasons for concern.
Here at home, a big retailer admits it broke the law. Live to CBS News correspondent Heather Bosch.
Lumber Liquidators has agreed to pay $10 million and plead guilty to violating environmental laws. The Justice Department says the Virginia-based company was importing wood obtained from Myanmar and Russia, where illegal logging threatens wild Siberian tigers. This settlement is not linked to the CBS 60 Minutes report that found some of Lumber Liquidators' flooring from China contains high levels of cancer-causing formaldehyde.
If you're looking for work, the odds could be in your favor.
34% of U.S. employers plan to hire full-time permanent staff, and it's really the best forecast that we've seen since 2006.
Career Builder's Jennifer Gross. The Cubs beat the Pirates 4-0 in the National League wildcard game. Jake Arrieta's 4-hit shutout has Cub fans dreaming of October glory.
That guy's going to bring home a pennant for us. We're going to make it to the World Series.
The Cubs will take on the arch-rival St. Louis Cardinals in the next round of postseason play. S&P futures are down 11 points. This is CBS News.
Remember when made in America meant something? Well, here at Hardwick Clothes, it still does. We've been dressing America with tailored clothing and our best-selling travel blazer since 1880. It's made right here in the USA, where American quality, innovative fabrics, and stylish design are guaranteed. Visit hardwick.com to find a retailer near you or buy direct. Free shipping is standard, so the only thing you've got to lose is an outdated wardrobe. Hardwick.com, America's best-kept secret for menswear.
Jared the Galleria of Jewelry presents Levion Chocolate Diamonds and Chocolate Cultured South Sea Pearls. Levion, unique, one-of-a-kind jewelry. From ancient royalty to today's red carpet, Levion is the only company on earth to make jewelry with chocolate diamonds, including exclusive designs you'll only find at Jared. And that's why he went to Jared. Find a Jared store or shop anytime at jared.com.
Delaware 105.9 news time is 6:04. Good morning. A 2-alarm fire evacuates Legislative Hall in Dover. Dover Fire Chief Mark Hall says the fire happened about 2:10 Wednesday afternoon, and there was smoke coming from the front and north side doors when he got there.
Ladder 1 arrived on location, and they were directed to take a hose line to the basement for a generator on fire. The generator fire had extended up into a chimney or flue-like atmosphere to the second floor where they had a closet on fire as well.
Hall reports smoke damage throughout the building and says the blaze extended to the attic shortly before 9 Wednesday night. Firemen were still on the scene, checking to see if the fire, which Hall called contained, was still burning in spots. The north wing of the building where the fire started was damaged by yesterday's flames, and adjacent floors also, of course, damaged by water. Hall says the damage is extensive. Lawmakers, of course, currently not in session. Access to Legislative Avenue and some adjacent roads will be limited, I'm told, later today. Dover Fire Marshal investigators are working to determine the fire's cause and the exact extent of damage. We'll keep you posted. Big story coming out of Dover yesterday afternoon. Sussex County Public Libraries will be closed today for the annual Sussex County Library Staff Development Day. Staff from the 15 public libraries throughout Sussex will meet at Del Tech in Georgetown for the 25th annual conference. It's a day-long session to study current trends and core services. This year includes privacy, safety, security, and internal-external communication. Concurrent sessions throughout the day will be provided by nationally recognized library and community leaders. Meantime, libraries will reopen in Sussex at their regularly scheduled times on Friday. NASA successfully launches a suborbital Black Brant 9 sounding rocket from the Wallops Flight Facility in Accomack County, Virginia. That rocket blasted off at 7:07 Wednesday night. The primary purpose of the flight was to test the performance of the second-stage Black Brant motor. Preliminary indications are that the motor performed as planned. Preliminary data analysis of the technology experiments on the payload is currently in progress. Town of Ocean City will resume its winter trash collection schedule on Monday, October the 12th. Residential trash collections will be reduced to 1 day per week, while commercial trash collections will be reduced to 3 days per week. You can see the entire schedule by logging into the story on our website at Delaware1059.com. The new trash collection schedule, by the way, will be in effect until May the 9th of 2016. Delaware 105.9 news time is 6:07. Time for Schofield on sports.
Jake Arrieta went the distance, scattering 4 hits and striking out 11 as the Cubs shut out the Pirates 4-0 to win the NL wildcard and advance to the National League Division Series to face the St. Louis Cardinals. Kyle Schwarber and Dexter Fowler homered for Chicago, and it's the second straight year the Pirates have been shut out while hosting the NL wildcard game. Both American League Division Series get underway today with the Rangers at Toronto at 3:37 and Houston at Kansas City starting at 7:37 tonight. The NHL regular season got underway last night with the Rangers beating the defending Stanley Cup champion Blackhawks 3-2. The Philadelphia Flyers open their season tonight when they visit Tampa Bay. And Week 5 of the NFL season kicks off tonight as the 2-2 Colts, who hope to have Andrew Luck back under center, visit the 1-3 Houston Texans. Kickoff is at 8:25. That's Schofield on Sports on Delaware 105.9.
And from the Delaware 105.9 Weather Center, lots of sunshine today, a high of 72. Going to be clear tonight, an overnight low of 60. For Friday, kicking off the weekend, not the best, but better than last week at this time. Sunshine tomorrow morning, increasing clouds in the afternoon, rain possible late tomorrow night into Saturday. A high of 77 degrees. Out the door temps this morning. 52 right now in Long Neck, 51 in Salisbury, 53 in downtown Milford. I'm Kelly Steele in the Delaware 105.9 newsroom. More of the Dan Gaffney Show coming up on Delaware 105.9.
So, what do you think of this story? I was just sharing it with you about the number of immigrants, people from other lands coming to Delaware because it's a great place to run a chicken farm, and it's very appealing to people like this Pakistani native who's now one of our neighbors, according to this article, Atif Kurham and his family. He was a doctor. Pakistan. Moved to New York City after waiting 17 years to get a visa. Missed the medical exam to practice in the U.S. by 1 point. At a crossroad in his career, knows another Pakistani gentleman in Greenwood who's chicken farming, decides, I'm giving it all up to be a chicken farmer, comes here, knows nothing about chicken farming, learns, buys a farm with his brother, 36 acres, buys a couple of houses. They're building new chicken houses. And it's a growth opportunity for this gentleman and his family, Mr. Kurham, and his friend, Mr. Sarwar, excuse me. So, what do you think? We're talking about that a little bit. How about Rick calling in from Lewis? Says it doesn't make sense to him. Something's funny. How are you a doctor and then you give it up to be a chicken farmer? Well, I don't know. Why not? He says why in the article that I read to you. It says that it's a good lifestyle. You're building something of your own. There's no commute. You live right where you work. There's a lot of appealing aspects to it. That's why a lot of people here are chicken farmers, right? It can be very lucrative. And, I'd love to hear from chicken farmers. I really would. Or former chicken farmers. Is there even such a thing? Is there a former chicken farmer? Once you get into it, do you stay into it? I hear this is a growth area. Chicken farming, despite its popularity after decades and decades here on Delmarva, is more popular than ever. More and more people wanting to chicken farm. Did you see what this article said? Did you hear what we said here? According to this story in the Mid-Atlantic Poultry Farmer that we quoted, the banker, Becky Adams, the loan officer for a place called Mid-Atlantic Farm Credit on Delmarva, just Mid-Atlantic Farm Credit, 287 beginning poultry farmers as customers. Beginning poultry farmers. Some have more experience than others, but they call these beginning poultry farmers. 287 on Delmarva. That's just Mid-Atlantic Farm Credit. There's probably other banks or lending institutions. Imagine that. People, that's why I call this segment America, Land of Opportunity, Delaware, Land of Opportunity, and when it comes to chicken farming. And it says the new growers are coming from varied backgrounds. That's the headline of the story. So I think there's maybe a perception that, these are farmers who've, longtime Delaware families who now their kids and grandkids are farming the same thing their dads and the granddads did, but it's not really the case. Many people coming here. Rob is here. Rob from Lewis. Hello, Rob. Are you there? Rob.
Hello, Mr. Gaffney.
Hey, Rob. Yes, sir.
Sorry to bother you and stick a pin in the balloon, but it also was reported recently, if you'll check out the people that handle the laws of banking and things in this nature of America.
I know exactly what you're going to say. You're going to.
Laws may find this interesting as well.
I know exactly what you're going to say before you even say it, because I believe what you're about to say is an urban legend. You're going to tell me that immigrants get better interest rates than local.
No, I'm not.
All right.
But
What are you going to tell me? It's not true. But
however, I was going to say something else, if I may.
Yes, please.
The banking situation is looking into the investigation of money laundering by individuals of the European as well as Asian countries, of people coming into this country, purchasing lands and or businesses and laundering money by way of land and businesses. Doesn't make sense that a person, just like that gentleman from Philadelphia, and I guess he's come down here because he had too much of Italian food and Tony Luke's roasted pork sandwiches, so now he's biking to get the pounds off. But it is known that we have a problem. We're being invaded by the South, but we're also being invaded by the East and the Southeast people.
Well, what
of
are you?
Asia.
Okay, break it down for me then. What are you alleging here?
I'm not alleging anything. It's not my report. It's not my opinion. It's not my speculation. It's what has been reported by the people in American law, people investigating.
Well, where's the money laundering? Where's the money laundering?
Have the United States government offices looking into this, Dan.
Okay, well, tell me where it is. Don't just say it's been reported. Explain it.
Well, that's all right. I'm going to have to find that and give you either a link and or
well, look, you don't even have to. Just generically say, how would you launder money in an American chicken farm? Hello? I think we lost Rob. Rob, call back. You're welcome to call back. I'm not. I didn't hang up on Rob. We're disconnected. How would you launder money in a? That's all. Just tell me, in theory, how it would be done. Okay. And you're not sticking a pin in the balloon. We welcome all these calls, right? That's why we're bringing up these topics. 839-1059. All right, 839-1059. This story is an interesting one. That many new chicken farmers in Sussex County and on Delmarva, as pointed out in the Mid-Atlantic Poultry Farmer paper that we're reading, come from other countries. Very interesting, right? New growers come from varied backgrounds. The managing editor of this poultry magazine, Sean Clougherty, wrote about Atif Khurram, one of our new neighbors, who was a doctor in Pakistan, and he's from Pakistan. It's his native land. He went to medical school in Russia, practiced medicine in Pakistan, and had a 17-year wait to get an immigration visa to move to Long Island, New York. He gets to New York in 2008. He's working for a medical practice in New York City. He wants to have his own practice in the United States, and he failed the first stage of the exam by 1 point. So in his life in New York City, he's at a crossroads in his life. Doesn't want to go through the exam process again. Starts thinking about other careers. Decides on, well, I'll open a poultry farm in Sussex County, Delaware. That's what the article says. He knew someone, a friend, Mr. Ghulam Sarwar, who was raising chickens already here in Greenwood, Delaware. So Dr. or Mr. Khurram visited the farm, figured out how it all works, and now he and his brother bought a 36-acre chicken property that had 4 houses on it in July last year. He's cleaning it up. He's making it work. He's growing for Purdue. And it says, the article says, Khurram is one of many recent newcomers to the poultry industry. So why the newcomers? Does this point to Sussex County being a great land of opportunity? That's my question. All right. He says it's about, they're saying it's quality of life issue. The hours are better. People who are in the chicken farming business have more time with their family. They feel safer. Mid-Atlantic Farm Credit says they have 287 beginning poultry farmers. How about that? There's incentives from the company and good loan rates and all that sort of thing. So how about that? And now Mr. Khurram says, just like Mr. Sawar helped him, he's getting people in his home country or whatever, saying, hey, you hear about any more opportunities, let us know. All right. Here is Antonio in Milford. Hello, Antonio.
Hey, how you doing today?
Doing well.
Oh, okay. I was calling in just to get a couple of different points. One, I think the last caller, I want to take a stab at it. Now, I'm unsure if, he's going to call back, but from what I understood, it seemed to me as though, he was saying that they were going to investigate the fact that, you might have foreigners of different descents come over here, work, and send money back to their countries, for whatever reason. Now, I don't know for what reasons, but it could be, illegal reasons, terrorists, stuff like that. I'm unsure, but that's what I got out of it. But on the topic, though, I just wanted to basically say, I'm happy for the guy. He came over here, he made a living for himself. And I work with a guy. He didn't become, like a chicken farmer. He does, like beans and corn and, produce.
Yeah.
But he said that he brought up the same points that you're making, that, he's his own boss. He gets a lot more time with the family. He basically creates his own work schedule. And, he's not at a job putting in 30, 40 years and, doesn't show for it. Companies, they offer pension and stuff, but sometimes it doesn't work as planned. And he was also saying this is a business that he could leave potentially to his son or his son's son. It's a family business.
Yeah, that's what this guy said, too, Mr. Khurram. So the point being, apparently, farming is still a great opportunity for people if they want to get into it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I definitely believe that, you got more people, being produced every day. Yes. We need farmers.
Right. We're all going to, we're not eating any less.
No, definitely not, and you have, food chains popping up. We definitely need, more farmers and things of that nature. Not necessarily like, ones for like Purdue, producing mass chicken, but, more farms that produce like local homegrown, chickens. And I've heard from a couple people now. I was born in 85, so I can't attest to this. But, like my parents, they're 60 years old. They were saying, like chicken isn't the same like it was back then. Now, I can't, agree with that. I've never had farm-raised chicken, but, they would say, stuff like that. Of course, they had the milkman come by, drop off milk, stuff like that. So a lot of things that they seen, I haven't seen, but, I feel happy for the guy. And I just wanted to raise, another thing, like, why the other day you were talking about, it taking too long for police to get lab work done and people sitting in jail. I just wanted to look at the point of, a visa. It took this person 17 years to get a visa.
To come to the United States, yes.
Yeah, and, just from a legality issue, some people don't have 17 years. Some people live in an area where, it's violent. And in certain parts of Mexico, you have the cartel running things, so people got to get out. They don't have 17 or 15 or 10 years to sit around and wait for, America to up and, hey, all right, you can come on in and live. But, not to get off subject, but, I'm glad he did it the right way. And it should also, help us look like he did and start businesses for ourselves, Americans. And, it give us hope that we could do the same things. It might not be in the farm industry, but, other industries as well.
There you go, Antonio. That was one of my thinkings about bringing up the topic today, that some of the people in the audience might dawn on them that there really is opportunity all around if we want to seize it. Thank you, Antonio. Good call. I enjoy hearing from you. Thank you very much. Pat, Harrington, Delaware. Pat, hello.
Good morning. I don't think it's just chicken farmers. I think a lot of farmers do operate, cash under the table. So nothing new. It's going to keep going on. But as far as chickens and, money laundering, I think it happens a lot once a year, because I remember growing up and opening these eggs and they'd have cash in them.
Get out here. Oh, that was only during Easter.
Oh, okay. That explains it. I couldn't figure out.
Thank you, Pat. I'm sorry. Jimmy is next. Hello, Jimmy in Selbyville. Are you a chicken farmer, Jimmy?
I am not, but been raised around chickens all my life and farming. But if you look at studies, I think it's great that they're opening up, new houses and everything, but there's a lot of studies out there that say within the next 10 to 15 years that the supply will not meet the supply will not meet the demand. So basically there's going to be too many chickens, and a lot of people are going to go bankrupt.
Well, you said it backwards then. You said the supply will not meet the demand. The supply, you mean the demand.
That's correct, yes. Yeah, there's a lot of studies, a lot of different agriculture groups that are looking at that and saying that there's probably going to be a major bankruptcy within this area, because these chicken plants, they don't care about you. That's a fact. That's why there are a lot of people that don't raise chickens anymore that's raised chickens for years. The only thing they care is about themselves.
Why are there 287 new people with loans through the Farm Credit? Why are people coming here from other countries to open chicken farms?
Because they make it look good, and it's really not. Because now they're growing chickens in China. So they make it look like
the Chinese chicken, right?
They make it look great, and it's really not that great. It's very hard to raise chickens, very hard. I mean, I know a lot of people that raise chickens. I know a lot of people that quit raising chickens. I mean, if you look at people that started out years ago,
some people don't care. Look, if you can make money, some people don't care it's hard. They know it's hard work. Why would you not do it? Because it's hard.
But what I'm saying is they put a lot of work into it, and they're very strict on how you raise them. Yeah. And you can put a lot of money into your farm, and they come in there and say, you're not growing for us anymore. Mm-hmm. So I'm just telling you from experience and knowing a lot of people that do it, but there is problems. Chicken companies are probably the biggest crooks out there, even though they put a lot of money in it.
Why are they still doing it, these people you know, if it's so bad?
They don't know how to do anything else.
Oh, they don't?
No, I mean, they were raised around chickens all their life. It was family up, and now they put so much money into chicken houses thinking that they're going to make the money back that they can't afford to leave it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So they got to keep going.
Right, pay the loans. Jimmy, thanks for the call. Jimmy in Selbyville, a little more pessimistic than the optimism pointed out in our Story about Mr. Atif Karam. So it's interesting to hear the calls. We're talking about chicken farming. 839-105. It's all around us. Biggest industry in our area. So let's talk about it. Let's do the traffic, too. Robin, good morning.
Dan, traffic's off to a pretty good start this morning. Dry roads, light activity all the way around. Haven't seen any delays trying to get in and out of Georgetown along Route 113. You're doing well down through Millsboro and Dagsboro. The 13 corridor in western Sussex County is also running at full speed this morning. Kent County, in and out of Dover. All the major routes so far moving along very well. I'm Robin Bryson with Traffic Watch on Delaware 105.9.
Is it true?
People you know.
Oh, of course.
From right here.
Is that what you're thinking? What's going on?
Delaware 105.9.
Today, mostly sunny skies, high 72. It'll be a clear night tonight, low 60. For tomorrow, some sun, then increasing cloudiness and breezy. A shower or thunderstorm late in the afternoon, high 77. For tomorrow night, cloudy with a bit of rain, low 59. And then Saturday, cloudy, breezy, and cooler, high 63. Patchy clouds on Saturday night with the low at 53. And then sun and patchy clouds on Sunday with a high of 66. I'm Steve Williams in the Delaware 105.9 Weather Center.
Hello, this is Pastor Nate Graham from Berean Community Church. I want to tell you about a radio program called Taking God at His Word that airs on Sunday mornings from 6:30 to 7:30, right here on Delaware 105.9. Psalm 19:7 tells us the testimony of God makes wise the simple. We need wisdom and conviction in this uncertain age. So that's what you'll get at Taking God at His Word. Clear, rich, and practical exposition of God's Word, verse by verse, book by book. I hope it will be a blessing to your life.
In the news center, Kelly Steele with an update brought to you by Southern States in Milford. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning, Dan. A Seaford motorcyclist is killed in a crash with an SUV in Frankfort. Delaware State Police say it happened at about 5:15 Wednesday afternoon as a 17-year-old Frankfort teen was driving a Chevy Tahoe southbound on Pepper Road approaching the intersection of Gum Road. 20-year-old Toyana Knight was driving his Suzuki GSX-R 600 motorcycle northbound on Pepper Road and was also approaching the intersection. At the time, police say the Tahoe driver failed to perceive the motorcycle approaching and he turned left directly into its path. Knight, who was wearing a helmet, was taken to Atlantic General Hospital in Berlin. That's where he was pronounced dead. The driver of the Chevy Tahoe was not hurt in yesterday's fatal crash. CBS News covers the nation and the world next. Delaware 105.9 News Time, 6:31. Good morning.
CBS News update. Fiat Chrysler workers, about 40,000 in all, are employed at 23 U.S. plants. Negotiations on a new contract went well enough to get a tentative agreement. Here's WWJ's Jeff Gilbert.
This deal replaces an earlier agreement that was overwhelmingly rejected. The union says they made significant gains. We should learn details when local union leaders meet here in Detroit tomorrow to go over the deal. If they approve it, then workers will have the final say.
This woman's been on the job for Fiat for 16 years.
Anytime that you give back to something to help build it up and you see it build itself up and now it's so profitable, you do expect some kickback.
With car makers showing profits, UC Berkeley labor professor Harley Shakin says employees wanted their cut.
The UAW workers were clearly ready to walk. That was a factor, but also very few wanted to walk. So the settlement, I think, is coming as very welcome news.
CBS News Update, I'm Dave Barrett.
Southern States of Milford has been serving Lower Delaware for over 60 years, keeping your lawns and gardens green and beautiful year-round. Southern States of Milford is your source for Echo, Steel and Exmark power equipment. Southern States of Milford is the place for agricultural feed, pet, outdoor and fuel needs. Need mulch, fertilizer and landscaping supplies? Your local experts at Southern States of Milford have you covered. Call 422-8066. Southern States of Milford on Williamsville Road. Farmer owned since 1923. 833.
Win cash and prizes at Harrington Raceway and Casino this October. Play the over 102,000 Monster Mash Slot Tournament to win free slot play or up to $2,500 cash. Fridays, October 9th and 23rd, the 58,000 His and Hers Bling Bling. Win up to $1,000 cash and luxury gifts. Tuesdays, win mystery cash jackpots up to $300 cash. Visit HarringtonRaceway.com. Harrington Raceway and Casino, where winners play. Some restrictions may apply. All games controlled by the Delaware State Lottery. You must be 21 to play. Visit Players Club for complete details.
Gin Blossoms Live, a night filled with all your favorite hits. Saturday, November 14th, 8 p.m., Harrington Raceway and Casino Exhibit Hall. Gin Blossoms. Gin Blossoms live in concert. A night to stand up and sing along. Tickets on sale now at HarringtonRaceway.com. Presented by Harrington Raceway and Casino.
Are you looking to buy a new mattress and want to know you're getting the best deal at a store that will stand behind their product? Look no further. Hi, I'm Chris Adams, owner of Mattress Peddlers, your local family-owned Serta and Kingsdown mattress retailer. We have 27 floor models to try with mattress sets starting at $349. Two-sided mattresses, futons, bunk beds, headboards, waterbed parts and accessories, and free same-day local delivery. Visit our website, mattresspeddlers.com, or stop in today on Route 24 in Peddlers Village and sleep on a better bed tonight.
This is John Greenhut, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, Power Swabs is the answer. In 5 minutes, you'll see 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. Even better, there's no messy strips or trays that you'll have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes, and you're done. To try Power Swabs, call 1-800-679-0969. Your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free. 1-800-679-0969. That's 1-800-679-0969.
When built right, some things just last. Like an American Standard heating and air system. Ranked the longest lasting brand by readers of a national testing and research magazine. American Standard. The highest standard for comfort.
Hi, I'm Ronnie Farrell with Farrell's Cooling and Heating. Just mention 105.9 to receive 10% off Farrell's yearly service contract. And if anyone in your house is 62 years or older, you'll receive another 10% off. 302-436-2922. Never an overtime charge.
Farrell Cooling and Heating is your local American Standard heating and air dealer.
Join us this Saturday for the Delmarva Potting Shed. I am Valerie Cordry, one of the hosts. Every Saturday from 9 to 11, Jake Smith and I will be broadcasting live from East Coast Garden Center. Be a part of our lively discussions about plants, landscaping, garden design, and all that's new and exciting. We'll sprinkle in some gardening guests to excite your interest and keep you up to date on the many interesting gardening happenings.
And the Delmarva Potting Shed brought to you by Lawns Unlimited, the exclusive Mist Away dealer on Delmarva, installing misting and spraying systems to control insects for residential and commercial lawns. Call 645-5296 today or visit lawnsunlimited.com to get started. Also brought to you by Stokely Materials, providing high-quality pavers, retaining walls, decorative stones, sand, soil, and mulch with 2 locations, Route 113 in Georgetown and Route 9 in Lewis. Don't miss the Delmarva Potting Shed this Saturday from 9 to 11 here on Delaware 105.9. It's time now for the Delaware 105.9 Fishing Report with John Budler, heard every morning at this time.
Good morning, anglers. Well, the drive-on beaches are starting to reopen once again, and the surf anglers are back out. I heard of some smaller bluefish being caught, but that's about it. I think the boats are also eager to get back out as well. I heard some boats that did go out, including the Katy did, but got no reports of any fish that were caught. We'll have to wait and see. All right, small stripers are still schooling right now and lighting up the usual spots, including the Lewis Canal. Slim chance of a keeper, but they're still fun to catch nonetheless. Now, it's important to note that there's a public hearing held in Dover tonight to discuss 4 tog regulation options proposed by the Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission, and according to that commission, tog are being outfished along the Atlantic coast. Now, what's interesting is the illegal fishing concerns addressed in the documentation issued by the ASMFC, and that includes the primarily Asian market's demand for undersized tog and an increase in anglers using tog as bait for stripers and other fish. The hearing starts at 6 o'clock in Dover tonight. All right, tight lines and be safe out there. I'm John Butler with the Delaware 105.9 Fishing Reports.
All right, I'm enjoying the calls about the chicken farming and the growth in the number of folks from other countries coming to Sussex County and coming to Delmarva to farm chickens. The lifestyle is appealing to people in other countries who want to come to America, and the land of opportunity apparently is Sussex County and Kent County, Delaware. As we have people like this gentleman, one of our neighbors now, Mr. Atif Kuram, and left his native Pakistan. He was a doctor, came to New York City, working at a medical practice there, decided to go in a different direction and to become a chicken farmer. And so he bought 36 acres with 2 houses, and now they're building more houses on the 36 acres. 4 more, I think they said. How about that? Then, on the other hand, we have our caller from Selbyville a moment ago who was like just talking about how horrible it's going to all be and how it's all going to collapse and it's terrible business to get into. I don't know much about the business, and I know there are risks with every business. And but if you do the hard work, what's the downside of being in the chicken farming business? What's the downside? Is there one? You've got incentives from the companies, I guess, to open up houses. You have lending institutions ready to give you the money. The loans work out to be where you can cash flow the whole thing. So you're going to have the opportunity to pay the loan and to have then positive cash flow to live on. You live where you work. You have your own business that you're sweat equity putting into every day. I was just sitting here talking to Colin. I don't know how this works, and that's why we're asking you, chicken farmer types, to call 839-1059. But Colin, we were thinking, I guess the risk is, what if all the birds die? What if you've got 3 chicken houses and all the birds die or something horrible happens? But wouldn't you have insurance? I bet the lending institution would require some sort of insurance against that sort of thing, I would think
they would have something. You have crop insurance. You know, why wouldn't you have it for chickens? Maybe.
Doesn't mean you wouldn't face a hardship, but I'm saying you wouldn't immediately go under, right? If you lose a flock. I mean, it happens, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it happens. I'm not that familiar with it, but I would think there's some kind of insurance.
Thank you, Colin. Good morning. Let's go to the callers. This is where the action is. That means you on the telephone at 839-1059. Hello, Brandon.
Hey, I was just going to say, normally you don't lose a flock. That's actually kind of rare.
Sure.
I don't think since we've had tunnel ventilation, my granddad and my mom and all, I don't think they've ever lost like a flock, like a whole bunch. But I was going to say, a lot of times, like, you hear about the people that say, foreigners, they get cheaper interest rates. The difference is a foreigner, I guess, because they're used to waiting and going through the process. If you go through and get all the government loans, the low interest and all that other kind of stuff and all the incentives and all the programs and stuff, it takes a little while to build, before you actually start building the chicken house. I had a buddy of mine that did it. It took him over a year before he actually even broke ground on building his chicken houses. So it just takes a while. It's not instant like, when you go and buy a house. As far as the hardships go, your whoever you grow for, they can lay out for, instead of 10 days, it might be 2 weeks or whatever, and before you get your next flock in, and that can mess up your money a little bit. You can have stuff that goes wrong. You can get I know my dad used to grow for Amick, and you used to get dermatitis,
Mm-hmm.
which if you're picking up big birds, which is the last 10 days before you can medicate them, you're picking up sometimes 100 to 300 birds a house. That's no fun. But, it's hard work, and you're going to be in debt for a while, and as soon as you get it paid off, they come out with new technology that you would, a lot of your companies, like Purdue's real stringent. They have, like a real strict on how they want your house updated.
Yep.
And every time they want your house updated, you go and update it. Now, majority of the time what they'll do is they'll loan you the money and take money out of each one. They call them your settlements. But when you ship out, they take money out. But you also get money from Purdue. Every time you upgrade your house, they bump up and they give you so many dollars per if you change your light bulbs in your house to the LEDs or whatever.
Sure.
Energy efficient ones. Well, now you'll get so many extra dollars per flock, every flock that you ship out. The reason I know is my granddad and my mom grow Cornish hens, which are 4-week birds.
Nice.
Sometimes if they don't have, now, but I mean, there is stuff that happens, and the integrators are also, they have to go by the market. So, like, say they have birds that are supposed to be 4 weeks. Well, they don't have anywhere for those 4-week birds to go, the Cornish hens. Well, now you got to keep them for 6 weeks. Okay, that may happen. Or I know they did it a little while back. They only took, I think, 12,000 birds out of their house. Only caught 12,000 out of, I think they start with like 40 in their house because they're the Cornish hens. They took 12,000 out, left the rest in, and ran them for 6 weeks.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, there is some things that happen that, but also a lot of times people don't realize that it's also the market dictates where their birds can go. You have something that's a product. You can't go catch a flock of chickens and not have somewhere for them to go.
That's right. Now, right or wrong, however, we're not eating any less chicken.
No, it's not. No, it's what it is it's how where they have to go and stuff. They're never out for 2 months without chickens. I've never seen that in any. My granddad's grown for Purdue since like the mid '70s. I don't remember that ever happening.
Yeah.
I'm not that old.
Listen, generally speaking, how much can a farmer profit from per chicken house?
Well, see, when you ask that, that's kind of a question that can't necessarily be answered because you get each chicken house. You pay for how big your chicken house is, so how much your capacity is.
Sure.
Okay? Each bird dictates a little bit different money. Also, if you sign, like a lot of people when they build a brand new house, so you get guaranteed money, guaranteed so many dollars per 1,000 chickens that you ship out. Guaranteed. Whether you don't actually do that good and your money doesn't actually dictate that, or it does and you do better and you get more than your guarantee.
That would be a minimum payment, right? Like a minimum payment?
Yeah, well, the reason that they do that is because you're laying out, I don't know how much a new chicken house is. I know at one time they were between 250 and 300,000.
Yeah.
But it also depends on, now they build them, you can get them like 60 foot wide by 600, you get 60 by 500.
Well, here's what a guy says on the insider line. You figure about $200 per 1,000 birds, average.
No, it's more than that now.
It's more than that now. Good. That's good.
Yeah, it should be more than that now. If you're growing roosters, I should say. I know that. Because I know my dad, he stopped growing chickens and sold his chicken farm. But before, that was like 5 years ago, he was making more than that per 1,000. Yeah, you should be probably, if I had to guess, and I'm not positive. I think the guy, a friend of mine I was talking to, when we had that bad snowstorm, his house was collapsed, and when he rebuilt new, he got to sign a guarantee. And I think he was like $375 a 1,000. So
got it.
I think his guaranteed money. So, and he can get more than that if you do better. But it is a hard job, but it's not as bad as it used to be. You used to not have tunnel ventilation.
Right.
You used to have to carry, 48-inch fans throughout the whole house and hang them and stuff. So it's easier than it was, but it's a job that dictates you be there. When you have chickens and you have a living, breathing animal,
You got to be there 24/7.
Yes, that's the one downside.
Well, thank you so much. So there are, thanks for the great call, Brandon. There are people who, when you say you got to be there 24/7, that fits their lifestyle. Okay. I like that. I want to be here. I don't want to leave my house. I want to be here. I want to be on the property. I want to be working here. I mean, that's attracted to some people. That's what the article says about Mr. Atif Khurram. They can't wait to get his family in the house so that they can just stay there, and that's what they want. All right. Kenny and Lewis. Good morning, Kenny.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks. Talking about this very interesting story in the Mid-Atlantic poultry farmer about new growers coming from varied backgrounds and the demand for chicken houses and chicken land to build chicken houses. Yes.
I think, and I'm probably 95% sure because we'd rented farm ground to some of the foreigners to grow vegetable crops. When they come in here, they can run a business for 5 years without paying any taxes, state taxes, federal income tax. Then when the 5 years is about up, they'll turn around and sell the business to their brother, their cousin, and run it again for another 5 years without paying any taxes. That, is where a lot of the Koreans do that when they're growing the vegetable crops. They do that all the time.
You actually do you rent a farmland to Koreans?
We have in the past, yes.
Interesting.
So we haven't now, but there's some farms over in the Milton area that they grow the Korean cabbages, the Korean radishes, and a lot of their hot peppers, and they harvest them here. They use a lot of the Mexicans or Guatemalans to pick them, and they put them on a tractor and trailer and ship them to the New York markets.
Fascinating. So let me ask you something. My parents would call that dirt farming, dirt farmer. Let's say you've got land, you lease it to Dan Gaffney, wants to grow a Korean cabbage, let's say. Where do I live? Just my apartment? Or what? I mean, do you have a house you rent them to, or do they live somewhere else and just drive over?
They live somewhere else. The guy there, he lived in a nice house development on 24.
Okay, so he lives in a house like anybody else.
There, he come in and he rented the farm ground. He had his, bought equipment here, tractors, planters, put greenhouses up, and everything where he could start a lot of his plants in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go over in the Milton area, there's cabbage now that's growing on Route 5, right outside of Harvest, that they harvest, and it's all harvested by hand. They go in there with the cabbage. You'll see the white cabbage boxes on the trailers throughout the field. They'll pick till 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, and then load them up, and then load them on a tractor and trailer, and ship them to New York.
The tractor. Very nice.
There, and I'm pretty sure there's no taxes.
That taxing. Look, if you're incorporated in Delaware, you will be paying Delaware tax. Period. Doesn't matter. This kind of urban legend about foreigners not paying taxes I've been heard that since I was the first day I've ever stepped into talk radio, and it's never been really confirmed by anybody with any legitimacy.
This guy, he had run for 5 years, and then he had to quit farming for a year.
Right.
And they still paid the lot rent or whatever, and then they come back farming the next year.
Yeah. And so what up?
He had it.
And why aren't more Americans farming? Is that the only reason? Assuming that's true, which I don't really buy.
It takes a lot of money to go into farming time. You're buying your farm equipment and everything now.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot of hard work, and a lot of them don't want to do the hard work. Where the farmers are up at 5 o'clock in the morning and work until 10 o'clock at night.
Is that really the deal? Is it because Americans are getting soft and we just...
Yes. I would say that.
I mean, that's bottom line it here. Americans are getting soft and we're being outworked by foreigners. Is that right?
Yes. You can see your landscapers. You're not going to get kids coming out of college or whatever, that's going to want to push a lawnmower or run a lawnmower or weed whack. If the foreigners weren't, helping all these landscapers, they wouldn't have any help.
That's the truth of the matter.
Yep.
That really is the truth, Kenny. I know. I've heard it many, many times from people who run these businesses. And the Americans, to make excuses for the fact that we don't want to work hard, instead of admitting it, they'll say things like, oh, well, they're paying them $6 an hour. So they'll lie about it to try and make themselves feel better. But these people are making legit pay. They're being paid legitimately, right? Kenny, thank you. I don't know what that noise is, but sounds like we got a little Super Mario game going in the background. But 839-1059. 6:52 on the Dan Gaffney program. Let's take a break for a traffic watch, but right back to our phones in a moment. Robin Bryson.
Dan, traffic's been moving well around the area this morning. In and out of Dover, a little bit of busy activity along 13, northbound and southbound, but no major jams or problems so far in the area. You're running pretty well on 13 in Sussex County. Through Seaford on up into Bridgeville, Route 404 from Bridgeville to Georgetown. No major problems right there. Route 9 from Georgetown right out toward Route 1. You'll see, again, a little bit of busy activity, but no major jams or problems there. And that includes right through the Harbison intersection, Route 5. You'll find that you're doing pretty well on Route 1, right around 5 points, heading down past Route 24. I'm Robin Bryson with Traffic Watch on Delaware 105.9.
Now listen.
We figure talk radio means you get to talk too.
Yeah, me too.
With people you know from right here.
I want to hear your thoughts.
Delaware 105.9.
Today, mostly sunny skies, high 72. It'll be a clear night tonight, low 60. For tomorrow, some sun, then increasing cloudiness and breezy. A shower or thunderstorm late in the afternoon, high 77. For tomorrow night, cloudy with a bit of rain, low 59. And then Saturday, cloudy, breezy, and cooler, high 63. Patchy clouds on Saturday night with the low at 53. And then sun and patchy clouds on Sunday with a high of 66. I'm Steve Williams in the Delaware 105.9 Weather Center.
All right. Good morning. It's 6:54. Dan, I think people come here because it's a sense of pride and ownership. People can come here from other lands, buy land and make an honest living, or they could sit in a grass and mud hut and make Nike sneakers for 3 cents an hour. All right. That's on the Insider Line this morning. Alex is next from Milford. Hello, Alex.
Hey, Dan. I'm from a farming family. My grandfather came here from Italy, at least on my father's side. Bought a piece of land. Actually ended up owning a lot of land. Farmed it. Raised his 11 children on that land.
Nice.
Those children moved on to with their high school diplomas, to doing like construction work and being contractors and building buildings and owning buildings.
Sure.
Until they got to my generation, where my brother's a doctor, I'm a teacher, my sister was a social worker, but now she works with her husband in a business that he has.
Right.
That's the American dream. It's not that Americans are lazy or unwilling to do these jobs, but you come here, if you can't speak English that well, or even if you don't have an American college degree, the options are somewhat limited. So a seed doesn't care what language you speak. You put it in the ground and the seed grows. Chickens don't speak English or Korean or whatever it may be. You raise chickens, you sell them. It's so it's an entry level place to go. And we're talking about people coming in. I know when my father, one of the things they built was a shopping center. There was always a Greek pizza place. And what would happen is a Greek owner would come in from Greece, run the thing for a number of years till he had enough money to go back to Greece and retire there, and he would sell it, as another caller said, to a cousin, a nephew, or somebody the family knew, who would then come over here and run the business for some number of years till he was ready, and he went back.
Sure.
It wasn't a tax dodge. It was a way for them to come here.
I agree. Look, the point is this. We are watching it continue today. America is still the land of opportunity, and locally we're seeing that Sussex County, for those who are willing to do it, is still the land of opportunity.
That's right. It's not that Americans are lazy. Some of us have moved on to the next level, and that's That's it. I mean, if I had to, if you know, all of a sudden I couldn't find a teaching position, there was nothing else available to me, I would go pick cabbage or whatever I had to do to get my family, by. Right now I'm working 11 hours a day. So.
You got it. Listen, I appreciate you, Alex. Thank you so much, and a great story about your background there. Really, really encouraging to hear about it. 6:57 on Delaware 105.9. Light fog, everything running on time, though, this morning. And I want to tell you about Halpern Eye. Halpern Eye is ready to see you if you need new glasses. You want to upgrade your look. They've got the look that makes you feel great. They have great designer lenses and designer frames, rather, and the latest advancements in lenses and eye care if you need an eye exam. My wife gets her contacts and her eye exams from Halpern. I do too. So do my kids, and we know several people that do. It's a great place to go. They're in Seaford and in Ocean View on Route 26. They have a new location in Georgetown. They're on Airport Road in Milford, and there are 2 locations in Dover, and then they're upstate as well. All the details, including making an online appointment, are available to you at halperneye.com. Go there soon, because this month, for a limited time, 30% off a complete pair of glasses. 30% off frames and lenses together. You buy the complete pair, 30% off. It's a great opportunity for you at Halpern Eye. halperneye.com. 839-1059. 839-1059. Good morning.
Local news first on Delaware 105.9.
Delaware 105.9 news time is 6:59. Good morning, everyone. I'm Kelly Steele from the Weather Center. As Dan said, we do have some light fog in and around some areas this morning. All schools, though, running on time. Going to be mostly sunny today. Gorgeous out there later on. A high of 72. Dover fire marshals remained on the scene Wednesday night at Legislative Hall in Dover. That was after an afternoon fire caused damages to the building, along with the Dover Fire Marshal's office. Many crews, including State Facilities Management and several contractors, were seen securing the building and starting cleanup efforts. The extent at this time still unknown. However, the north wing, where the fire originated, had fire damage, and the adjacent floors received water damage. Legislative Avenue and some adjacent roads, I'm told, will have minimum access today. Hope to get an update on yesterday's fire later on this morning. From the first town in the first state, this is WXDE Lewis.
Delaware 105.9.
It's 7 o'clock.
CBS News, I'm Frank Sedapani. We did it, I knew about it, and I'm sorry. CBS's Stephen Portnoy tells us that's what a top VW official will say to Congress a few hours from now.
Volkswagen's U.S. president will apologize to members of Congress and admit his company designed its diesel-fueled cars to emit less pollution in testing than on the road. Michael Horn will also say he knew there may have been a problem a year and a half before Volkswagen warned U.S. regulators. Of the 11 million cars with the cheating software installed, some 500,000 were sold here in the U.S.
Volkswagen's new 2016 diesel models will not be sold in the U.S. for a while. The company has withdrawn applications for emissions certification, leaving vehicles to gather dust at ports around the country and dealers without cars to sell. Handshakes a little after the midnight deadline prevented a strike at Fiat Chrysler. One UAW member hopes the new deal is better than the tentative contract the rank and file rejected last week.
This company wouldn't be where it is today without our blood, sweat, and tears.
Another worker says he was ready to hit the bricks.
But I'm glad we didn't. Another day, another dollar, right?
The new contract could be put to a vote next week. A key issue in the talks was the two-tier system that lets the company pay new workers less money. South Carolina's rain-gorged rivers are flowing toward the Atlantic Ocean, creating the potential for new flooding over the next couple of days. Emergency management official Scott Hawkins says recovering from the floods of the past week will take a long time.
The results of this flooding are going to be impacting people for weeks, months, and perhaps years to come.
In addition to the property damage, the estimated loss from farm crops crops is $300 million. In Roseburg, Oregon, attitudes toward guns seem to have changed since last week's campus massacre in a way gun control supporters may find surprising. Live to CBS News correspondent Heather Bosch.
College student J.J. Vicari heard the gunfire that killed 9 people in the class next to him. Now, he tells the New York Times he wants his own gun to protect himself. Others in the rural town also say they plan to buy guns or obtain concealed weapons permits, or they're pushing to arm campus security guards. And residents are divided about President Obama's plan to meet with families of the victims. Some say he'll merely use the visit to promote gun control.
And this is just in. The Nobel Peace Prize has been awarded to a Belarusian journalist, Svetlana Alexievich. Russia's role in the Syrian civil war on the side of the Assad government is on the table at a NATO meeting in Brussels. CBS's Cami McCormick is there.
There is growing concern here, especially after Russia's incursions into Turkey's airspace. NATO Secretary General says the alliance is ready to deploy forces if needed to defend Turkey. He called Moscow's operations in Syria troubling.
The Pentagon says at least one U.S. warplane had to be rerouted in order to avoid Russian planes over Syria. Cub fans had something to celebrate last night. Jake Arrieta pitched a 4-hit shutout against the Pirates in the National League wild card. S&P futures are down 8. This is CBS News.
Today's Porkcast is looking mighty delicious. We'll have some smoky hot pork chops starting at around 5 p.m. with a cool cucumber tomato salad breezing in from the north at about 6. It'll be a beautiful evening in the tri-state area, perfect for grilling. So be sure to pick up some New York pork chops on your way home. For your up-to-the-minute recipe Porkcast, visit porkbeinspired.com/Porkcast. Pork, be inspired. This message funded by America's pork producers and the Pork Checkoff.
This is Charles Osgood. Tax compliance can be a pain for businesses. That's why I'd like to tell you about Avalara's powerful tax automation technology. Avalara is a cloud-based solution that handles tax for all kinds of business transactions and for businesses of all sizes. Avalara's software already integrates with your accounting, e-commerce, and point-of-sale systems. It's awesome how Avalara makes tax compliance so much easier. Find out how the good people at Avalara can help you at avalara.com.
Delaware 105.9 news time is 7:04. Good morning. A Seaford motorcyclist is killed in a crash with an SUV in Frankfort. Delaware State Police say it happened about 5:15 Wednesday afternoon as a 17-year-old Frankfort teen was driving a Chevy Tahoe southbound on Pepper Road, approaching the intersection of Gum Road. 20-year-old Toyana Knight Jr. was driving his Suzuki GSX-R 600 motorcycle northbound on Pepper Road. He was also approaching the intersection. Police say the Tahoe driver failed to perceive the motorcycle approaching, and he turned left directly into the bike's path. Knight, who was wearing a helmet, was taken to Atlantic General Hospital in Berlin. That's where he was pronounced dead. Police say the 17-year-old was properly restrained and was not hurt. His name is being withheld due to his age and, of course, the ongoing police investigation. Delaware House Majority Leader Val Longhurst is being criticized this morning for an email response she sent to the University of Delaware and one of its employees who questioned and criticized lawmakers over exclusive raises. The News Journal of Wilmington reporting that Fran Fletcher, a policy scientist at the university, recently sent an email from her university account to Longhurst and other lawmakers. In the email, Fletcher expresses her disgust toward the raises. Longhurst replied and explained how the raises were given. She said that lawmakers control funding for Delaware's institutes of higher education. Some lawmakers say Longhurst was intimidating and bullying a constituent who was only exercising her right as a taxpayer. Longhurst said yesterday, Wednesday, that the parties involved have communicated and moved on from this matter. Wilmington children get to learn street safety from city police officers and some other officials. For dozens of Wilmington children and teens, Wednesday was a time to connect with those protecting them. The United Way of Delaware and the Boys and Girls Club of Delaware teamed up with Wilmington Police yesterday to talk about safety in their neighborhoods. Assistant Director of Community Engagement at United Way of Delaware, Orrin White, says the training has 2 goals for the children.
Understand the violence and different things that are affecting their community, but also to begin to bridge the gap between young black males and local law enforcement.
Wilmington Police Captain Fahim Akil says building connections could make an impact on encounters with Wilmington children.
Maybe have a point where I can give some type of coaching, some type of mentoring, rather than it goes to the arrest or formal charges.
In other news today, Temple University trustees are expected to vote soon on naming NBC correspondent Tamron Hall to fill a seat on the board vacated by Bill Cosby last year. The Philadelphia Inquirer is reporting that board chairman Patrick O'Connor said the 1992 Temple grad has the support she needs for approval. He called Hall an exciting, vibrant, loyal alum who will add a new dimension to the 36-member board. Delaware 105.9 News Time, 7:07.
Whether you're renovating, buying, or selling a home, one important step to take is to have the property inspected for things like asbestos, mold, mildew, and other contaminants that can seriously affect the home's indoor air quality and structure. Call the experts at Sussex Environmental Consultants. They'll be able to identify the problem and create a remediation plan specifically tailored to suit your needs. Call 302-947-1810 or visit online at sussexenvironmental.com.
Jake Arrieta went the distance, scattering 4 hits and striking out 11 as the Cubs shut out the Pirates 4-0 to win the NL wildcard and advance to the National League Division Series to face the St. Louis Cardinals. Kyle Schwarber and Dexter Fowler homered for Chicago, and it's the second straight year the Pirates have been shut out while hosting the NL wildcard game. Both American League Division Series get underway today with the Rangers at Toronto at 3:37 and Houston at Kansas City starting at 7:37 tonight. The NHL regular season got underway last night with the Rangers beating the defending Stanley Cup champion Blackhawks 3-2. The Philadelphia Flyers open their season tonight when they visit Tampa Bay. And Week 5 of the NFL season kicks off tonight as the 2-2 Colts, who hope to have Andrew Luck back under center, visit the 1-3 Houston Texans. Kickoff is at 8:25. That's Schofield on Sports on Delaware 105.9.
From the Delaware 105.9 Weather Center, going to be mostly sunny once this fog burns off. All schools running on time. We've had a few inquiries. Imagine that. A high of 72 degrees. Meteorologist Steve Williams says clear tonight, an overnight low of 60. Just go to school, okay? That's all I want. 53 degrees right now on the beach in Lewis, 53 in Salisbury. I'm Kelly Steele in the Delaware 105.9 newsroom. More of the Dan Gaffney Show coming up on Delaware 105.9.
Talking about the influx of people from other cultures and other lands, if you will, coming to America and coming to Delmarva to farm chickens. And there's even a story about it in the Mid-Atlantic Poultry Farmer. I don't know if you're aware of this, but a lot of people are buying land to build chicken houses. And the chicken farming is a growth business, it seems, for some here still in Sussex County. We're not eating any fewer chicken. We need to eat. And chicken is affordable, and the world wants good, affordable protein, and chicken growers are making it with the chickens. So this is still the land of opportunity for many, and there's a profile here about a gentleman who came from Pakistan to America, was a doctor, actually. Now he's a chicken farmer. Atif Kuram, in his 36-acre farm he bought with his brother in Seaford after his friend, a family friend, Mr. Ghulam Sarwar, had been raising chickens in Greenwood, Delaware. And now Mr. Kuram is ready to do the same thing for any other friends of his that want to come here and look for opportunity. And that's what they call it, too, opportunity. All right, 839-1059. So we were asking people about farming chickens. How much can you make? You know, what is a person, you're growing for one of these companies, you've got a sizable chicken house or two or three or four. What are you making per bird or per 1,000 birds or per house? I mean, what's after everything's paid, you know, what's the income? You know, it's hard work. Got to be there 24/7. We've been talking about it. Here is a comment that was sent in to me that I will share with you from a longtime Sussex Countyan. In all honesty, talking about people, maybe people from other countries, they make better growers. They make better growers because they have no American social life yet. No kids in Little League, not really going to bars. They don't hang out at the fire company, no vacations, no Facebook. They just grow chickens. While Americans have hobbies and other interests. That's a good point. For some people, their culture is their work, and their life is their work, and that's what they're embedded in. So maybe you're right. It fits the lifestyle. That's what this article says, that Mr. Kurum was at a crossroad in his life where many of us have been. Do I want to keep doing what I'm doing, or do I want to shift careers now that I'm in my mid-30s? This guy was 36 years old. He was a doctor. He was in New York City, came to America, wanted to be an American doctor, working for a medical firm in Manhattan or New York City somewhere. And it says that he missed by 1 point the first round of the medical exams to be a doctor here, and was faced then with a decision. Do I want to hit the books and retake this whole thing, go through this whole rigmarole and stay in this profession? Or do I want to just change my lifestyle? So he changed his lifestyle completely and started doing something he didn't know anything about. Chicken farming in Sussex County, Delaware. So anyway, this kind of thing is being repeated throughout Delmarva, and it's just interesting to look at. And I thank you for your calls on it in the last hour. Last call if you have any other thoughts on farming chickens. All right, and the whole story. 839-1059. 839-1059. All right. Before we break, we need to break here. We're going to get caught up. I want to tell you something about the Buddy Walk. Have you ever heard about the Buddy Walk? It's a wonderful thing that happens in Rehoboth every year. And I heard from Sharon Lee Deal the other day. I want to tell you what she said here. I'll bring up the exact message that she sent. Here's the deal. This Friday, tomorrow, is the Buddy Up silent auction at the Dewey Beach Lions Club for the Boardwalk Buddy Walk. Now, that's a walk where people show support and inclusion for people with Down syndrome. Buddy Weekend, Buddy Parade, Buddy Walk. It's really a great event. It's really cool. So they have this Buddy Up silent auction. Well, Sharon Lee told me that for the silent auction, the sports memorabilia contact fell through, and they have lost, or they don't have any sports memorabilia to put on the auction table. They were planning on having some sports memorabilia because that stuff brings in good money. Now they have nothing to put on the auction table that's sports memorabilia. So she says, if you know of anyone that might want to donate something to us, would you please let me know? Or if you would announce this request, we would appreciate. This is the 10th year, by the way, the Boardwalk Buddy Walk. And I don't know if you know Sharon Lee Deal or Dennis Deal, but they work so hard in putting this together, and it's grown, and it's a really cool event. And I've been happy to talk about it every year. However, I get it. They thought they were going to have some sports paraphernalia or memorabilia, and now they don't have it. So if you happen to have some sports memorabilia that would be good for a silent auction that is going to happen tomorrow, why don't you call Sharon Lee Deal at 236-6861. You can message me, and I'll make sure I get the message to her. But the number is 236-6861. You can help her out. You can help them out. It's a donation. 2-3, like you've got an autographed Tom Brady deflated football, or a Wayne Gretzky hockey puck with somebody's teeth stuck in it, or whatever you've got, some kind of sports memorabilia. You know what I mean. Call 236-6861. You got a Shaun White snowboard autographed, whatever. 236-6861. Hope we can help. All right, good morning, 717 Traffic Watch. Robin Bryson is here at Delaware 105.9. Robin.
Dan, traffic still not doing too badly this morning. You'll see certainly some increased activity along Route 113, working your way in and out of Millsboro, around Route 24, and also as you get up into Georgetown around the Route 9 intersection. But all in all, a pretty clean ride there. 13 corridor still running fairly well. 13 through Seaford, a little bit of congestion right at the Concord Road intersection. Kent County, in and out of Dover. I haven't seen any major problems along 13 or Route 1. I'm Robin Bryson with Traffic Watch on Delaware 105.9.
You don't have to agree.
We figure talk radio means you get to talk too. With people you know from right here.
I want to know what people think.
Delaware 105.9.
Here's your weather now, Delaware 105.9, and meteorologist Steve Williams.
Today, mostly sunny skies, high 72. It'll be a clear night tonight, low 60. For tomorrow, some sun, then increasing cloudiness and breezy. A shower or thunderstorm late in the afternoon, high 77. For tomorrow night, cloudy with a bit of rain, low 59. And then Saturday, cloudy, breezy, and cooler, high 63. Patchy clouds on Saturday night with the low at 53. And then sun and patchy clouds on Sunday with a high of 66. I'm Steve Williams in the Delaware 105.9 Weather Center.
All right, good morning. 51 in Lewis, 58 in Bethany Beach, and on the Circle in Georgetown this morning, it's 56 degrees.
Vaccines aren't just for kids, and staying healthy at any age isn't kid stuff. The flu vaccine will help prevent the flu. So get vaccinated instead of getting the flu. This year's vaccine helps protect against 4 different strains of the virus. For information or to see if you or your family could qualify for free vaccinations, call 1-800-282-8672. That's 1-800-282-8672.
Hi, I'm Mark Shawnee from State Farm here in Milford. Smart Drive is not just for teenagers anymore. Smart Drive helps parents to think about their own driving, and it opens a dialogue between parents and kids to make driving safer for the whole family. Parents, young drivers, and passengers too can all participate to make every trip a smarter drive or ride. Like always, wearing your seatbelt. For tips and more information on smart driving, visit smartdriveusa.org.
We are the guys you call when there's a sense of urgency because your roof is leaking. We are the guys you call when you're just ready to update your style. We are Spicer Brothers Construction, and we will get it done right the first time. Ask about our great warranties and financing options. With Spicer Brothers Construction, you are serviced by the area's leading GAF Master Elite Roofing Contractor. We are not here to install your next roof. We are here to install your last roof, because at the end of the day, this is the sign you want in your yard.
Don't let the ghost of credit pass keep you from the car you deserve. Have a job clearing $350 per week? We want to approve your credit today. At Berlin Chevy, take $12,000 off with any trade on select new 2015 Chevy Silverados in stock. Colorado, Tahoe, Suburban, Impalas, Malibus, and Cruises, even the 2015 Silverado 2500 HD. Take $12,000 off. Have a job clearing $350 per week? Berlin Chevy wants to approve you for the credit you deserve. 2015 Chevy Cruze, just $167 per month lease. Plus, we'll take any trade, even if you still owe thousands on it.
And remember, Jim wants to see you in the coolest small town in America, Berlin, Maryland.
Berlin Chevy. Find new roads on Old Ocean City Boulevard, Berlin, Maryland.
Qualified buyers. Credit may affect terms. Balance of trade carried over to new loan. Discount based on MSRP of $58,650 with $8,798 factory rebates to dealer and $3,202 dealer discount. Stock number 3725.
Sales, service, training? There's no better place to come than Shooter's Choice. Shooter's Choice offers you everything you'll need from training to shooting sports, firearms, and accessories. Browse their large selection of shotguns, hard-to-find guns, supplies, and accessories for men and women. If they don't have it, they can get it. Shooter's Choice offers professional service for every gun they sell. They also offer several firearm safety courses and Delaware's concealed carry class monthly, with information on all the safety and instructional classes you need to operate your handgun safely. Don't miss visiting shooterschoicede.com and take advantage of their weekday specials like half-price range time, firearms and ammunition specials, and even accessory specials. Shooter's Choice, Delaware's first choice in firearms. Open every day and located across from the Walmart in Dover. Online at shooterschoicede.com.
Always on target. Shooter's Choice. Yeah, yeah. Shooter's Choice. Always on target.
Identity theft is a crime that affects millions of Americans each year. Defend yourself against identity theft at a free community shred event sponsored by the Delaware Attorney General's Office. Bring up to 3 boxes of documents with personal info and shred them on Saturday, October 10th from 9 to 1 at the Del Dot Administration Building, just south of the 13113 Split in Dover. That's Saturday, October 10th from 9 to 1. Learn more by visiting attorneygeneral.delaware.gov or call 1-800-220-5424.
Windows 10? Does this mean I have to buy something else? Did you know Windows 10 is free for the next year if you have a Windows 7 or 8 computer? Microsoft has big plans for Windows 10 and would like to have everyone on the same operating system, so it's willing to give it to you for free. Windows 10 is easy and fast with the best features from Windows 7 and 8. Is it right for you? Call the experts at Response Computer Group. Response Computer Group is your local source for PC tune-ups, virus removal, and computer and laptop repairs.
Hi, I'm Randy Ennis, owner of Response Computer Group. When you've done everything you thought of to fix your computer and it's still not working right, it's time to bring it to a company that has the experience to make it work right. We're located in Milford off Airport Road in the Independence Common Business Park. Just turn left before you reach the Boys and Girls Club. Response Computer Group has been serving businesses and consumers in the Delaware community since 1983. Give us a call at 335-3400 or visit us online at rcgweb.com.
All right, Delaware 105.9. Rick in Fenwick has a birthday. Rick, hi.
Hey, doing good, buddy.
Good. Whose birthday is it, Rick?
It is Dr. Hattier.
Dr. Hattier's birthday today?
Yes, sir.
Don Hattier, Beachview Chiropractic. Happy birthday, Rick. I'm glad you turned him in today.
I want to say hello, everybody.
Well, thank you, and hello right back at you, Rick. Also, it is Colin Wall's birthday from Wall's Service Center. We'll have to celebrate tomorrow at Jimmy's Grill. We'll be there live. Colin Walls. Happy birthday, Colin.
Thank you.
And good morning. It's Delaware 105.9. My wife and I were talking about the Oregon shooter the other day, as many of you were. And people talk about mental health, and didn't people know he was disturbed, and that his mom had guns and all this. And we started talking. And I don't know how the subject came up, but we said to ourselves, do we know anyone, or have we ever met anyone that if we were to be honest with ourselves and say it out loud, we think could potentially be one of these mass crazy shooters? And I got to be honest with you. We came up with a couple of names. Crazy people. People we think are crazy. Not that they've ever said they were going to do this, but people that, if we were to be honest, could be capable of it, in our opinion. And then we said, well, what are you to do about that? That's just our lame and judgmental opinion of these people. That's just our view of the people the names we came up with. What are you going to do? Call the cops? Call the police? Hello, police. I'm calling because this person I know is, in my opinion, kind of crazy and could snap. Well, have they said anything to make you believe they're really going to do that? Well, not really, but I just think maybe someday, What do you do? Kelly, be honest. Think about people you've met, people you've worked with, relatives, just people you know from any way.
I've always had a list.
In the back of your mind,
well,
you've got a list.
It's towards the front of my brain, but...
And I'm not asking you to name names. But honestly...
Yes.
You've got a list, right?
Yes.
I've got a list.
I think everybody has a list.
That's what I'm asking. Does everybody have a list? Isn't it terrible? And then you feel bad. Then I feel bad, like, why do I think that way about that person?
And if we're being really honest,
why do I think that way?
I think I may be on some people's list. But that's okay.
You don't fit the profile. You might be on someone's list, but I don't think you don't fit the profile.
I'm on a lot of people's lists, but...
Because, you hear it every time there's one of these horrible things. Well, we thought he was weird, or he always was trouble, or he had a temper. He acted kind of odd. He said weird things. He had a fascination with this. He had a fascination with that. And I knew he owned a bunch of guns. And people say, why didn't anybody do anything? Well, what are you going to do? What can you do? If you called the police and said, this guy's a little wacky. I think he might be on antidepressant drugs, and he owns a bunch of guns, and he's obsessed with something. What do you think? The police are going to go over there and knock on his door and do something? For what? What law did he break? Do you have a short list of people that you think could be capable of this, Albert?
No, not really.
Not at all.
I think through everybody I know, I know some gun fanatics, but they're pretty normal, and I could see they've been through some stressful things like divorces and breakups and things like that, and they never crossed that line. As far as dealing with someone like this, I think it's up to, and I see this on TV all the time, the parents of this person, of this young man or young woman. They should be the first to notice and the first to do something about it. Me and you, who work with people or think something, we're not experts. We don't know.
Right. We're not going to take that person to the gun range and buy him a bunch of new weapons, right?
Yeah, like the Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre mother did. She took that young man, to the shooting range and bought him a gun, and the first person he shoots is her, and then he shoots up the school. She should have known. That is your first line of defense. You have a bunch of kids, Dan.
Albert, hold on one second. Hold on. I'll be right back with you. Just... You know where this conversation is going. If you'd like to chime in, 839-1059. Kelly, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Dan. NASA successfully launches a suborbital Black Brant 9 sounding rocket from the Wallops Flight Facility in Accomack County, Virginia. That rocket blasted off about 7:07 Wednesday night. A state lawmaker could enter the 2016 lieutenant governor's race. State Senator Bethany Hall Long has formed a campaign committee for the office of lieutenant governor, which now allows her to begin fundraising and also signals her possible addition to an already crowded field of candidates. Police continuing to investigate the death of a Dover woman whose body was discovered in the parking lot of a shopping center near the Newcastle Farmers Market. The dead person, the woman, has been positively identified as 23-year-old Kimberly Quaid. CBS News covers the nation and the world next. Delaware 105.9 news time on this sunny Thursday morning, 7:31.
CBS News update. A trip to Capitol Hill today for VW's Michael Michael Horn, who will explain to House members the emission test cheating that resulted in a huge recall of diesel-powered vehicles. Correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
In his prepared testimony, Volkswagen U.S. CEO Michael Horn offers members of Congress an apology. He admits Volkswagen software had its cars perform better in testing than on the road. Horn will say he knew about the potential problem some 18 months before Volkswagen alerted American regulators. Some 500,000 diesel-fueled cars with the modified software have been sold here in the U.S.
WWJ's Jeff Gilbert says 2016 diesel-powered vehicles won't be sold in the States.
Volkswagen's decision means customers who want to buy VW diesels will need to wait much longer, perhaps into next year. It's also a blow to dealers who won't be able to sell some of their most popular models. Volkswagen is working on a repair to make the vehicles cleaner while still meeting customer needs for power and fuel economy.
CBS News Update, I'm Dave Barrett.
All right.
What is the Bible?
Hold on. 7:32 at Delaware 105.9, Dan Gaffney program on the air everywhere. We're talking to Albert in Millville. So, Albert, you hear about after the fact, you always get people who say, you know, he was always trouble or he was odd. We thought his obsession was strange. You know, you get people who have these vague suspicions that are realized after the guy goes crazy. And now you don't have a list in your mind of people that you've met that might be on your crazy list, but a lot of people do. What are you supposed to do about it if they're not breaking the law and making any specific threats? All you just have this vague feeling that they could snap at any minute, but you got nothing on them. I mean, what are you supposed to do, Albert?
Well, if it's a coworker and you say something to somebody, then you're going to further distance them and could possibly create the stressor that sets them off in the first place. Because people who are like this, they don't see themselves like this. They unless they're schizophrenic and hearing voices, but most people think, oh, I'm pretty normal until a stressor happens, and then they can't handle the stressor.
Mm-hmm.
And they go off and they kill people. And getting back to what I was going to say is parents are the first persons and the best at judging whether their child is having difficulty, and they should be the first and only people to do something about it. Because I believe legally they are the only ones that can do anything about it. So.
Right. I mean, parents, you're right. Like, a lot of times, not always, I guess, but a lot of times which of your children you would trust staying alone and which one you wouldn't, at what age. You know which one can handle certain situations and which ones can't. I get it.
Yes. And you always hear after the fact. I watched that young man from Oregon's father talking on TV. And he's very anguished about it, and I think he's mad, deep down, he's mad at himself because he knew something. He knew that his son was having difficulty, and at the end of the day, when it's happening, it's the parents who feel guilty, the most guilty.
I imagine of his guilt as well. He's probably got a lot going on because he lived in Texas, and in his the mom and the kid lived in Oregon. He's probably tore up about that. He's probably thinking the boy should have been living with me. Who knows what he's going through?
Yep. And when I went to parenting classes, and this is a message for all the young people out there, a child growing up needs both their parents, the father and the mother.
Yes.
They offer two different atmospheres for these children to and outlets for these children to handle. And without a father, a lot of young men go bad. And you see that a lot in big cities. I knew a lot of kids that didn't have parents, didn't have fathers, and all they had was a mother, and they had difficult times. So
that's true. It's not always. It is a general rule. There are many exceptions. Of course, the exceptions don't prove the rule. They're exceptions. But you're generally speaking absolutely correct. I don't think there's any question that children need the mother and father influence in their lives for the maximum health.
if I knew somebody who I thought was borderline or going over the edge through some personal things, I would try to help or intervene or give them some perspective. An older person who's been through a lot of crap. That's what you can do. You say, look, this is no big deal. You'll get through this. It happens to everybody. Just deal with it, and it'll make you stronger.
Albert, thanks for calling. Albert calling in from Millville, Delaware at 839-1059. Next up, Jim Weller. Weller's Utility Trailers. Hello, Jim.
Hello, Dan. Hello, Colin. Happy birthday, Colin. I was going to try to beat you to it, Dan, but anyway, today's Colin's birthday. So I was there. I'd buy him lunch, breakfast, and dinner, but I'm not there. So.
Well, he says he'd be more than happy to take a rain check on that.
All right, well, I have to check and make sure that's legal to offer rain checks over the air.
Okay.
Might be an FCC rule, I'm not sure. Okay. But anyway, good morning, and I wanted to let people know we have an ad that has been very successful. It says free items with purchase, and basically what it was you buy a trailer, and it has to be new and $1,000 or more, and you get one of these items absolutely free. And it was so successful that many of the items we ran out of. But you've got a couple days left. It ends this Saturday, so I just want to remind you that if you're looking for a utility trailer and you kind of just been waiting for something to sweeten the deal just a little bit, check out this ad. Go to Wellers.com. It's the one that says free items with purchase. There's no real catch to it. I already had the trailers on sale, so the price of the trailers were good. Then I just said, what else can I do to just throw something at you to get you to buy a trailer? And we had things like a generator and a gas grill and a weed whacker and a toolbox and wheelbarrow, or one of our flagpoles or the Adirondack chairs or an outhouse. And you get one of those items absolutely free with the purchase of a utility trailer, new, $1,000 or more. So check it out at Wellers.com. There's a lot of other ads there also. Give me a call at 337-8228. Please like us at Wellers Utility Trailers on the Facebook, or check out everything we have to offer at Wellers.com. Just want to invite everybody, remind everybody, tomorrow morning Dan does a show live at Jimmy's Grill in Bridgeville. A lot of fun, a lot of fellowship, a lot of food goes down, and it's just a great way to start your day or your weekend. 5:30 to 10, the Dan Gaffney Show is live from Jimmy's Grill, and everybody is welcome and invited. Other than that, enjoy the day, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow morning.
Thank you, Jim. At Delaware 105.9, good morning, 7:38.
I'm often asked, what makes Christianity unique from all the other religions of the world? That is a great question. The answer is this. Most religious systems imagine God as a supreme being residing atop a great mountain with many roads, all of which lead to Him, and it is our duty to find and travel our own road in order to reach Him. The Christian faith, however, speaks of a God who, though far above us, comes down to us, a people unable to scale the mountain, and He brings us to Himself. The Bible tells us that in Jesus, God emptied Himself by taking the form of a servant, being born in the likeness of men. He humbled Himself by becoming obedient to the point of death on a cross. The good news of the Bible is that God has done for us what we could not do for ourselves. He has come to the foot of the mountain to rescue us. Hi, this is Pastor Dwayne Smith from Sussex County Bible Church in Harbison, and I would like to invite you to join us for our weekly radio broadcast, The Voice of Truth, as we explore this good news every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. right here on Delaware 105.9.
Hi, this is Ken Adams with Stokely Materials. With our 2 Sussex County locations, we have you, the homeowner, covered when it comes to all of your landscape supply needs. Whether it be any of our natural or colored mulches, our wide variety of decorative stones and soils, or our selection of Cambridge and New Line pavers. And of course, don't forget we are your authorized yard waste drop-off sites. Stop by our Georgetown location on Route 113 across from Melvin Joseph Construction, our Lewis location just off Route 9 on Nassau Commons Boulevard. See all of our products on the web at StokelyMaterials.com or call us at 856-7601.
Call Quicken Loans now at 800-QUICKEN to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. And for 5 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And for the 2nd year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
We help farmers make the best use of their land, which means healthier crops, higher yields, and fewer harvesting hours. which is good news for a growing population and good news for the environment. BASF. We create chemistry.
Remember Jared Morris today at 3 on Delaware 105.9.
Hey, 741. Hello. Good morning. It's great to be here in the first state. Also interesting to see other media outlets catching up to something I've been talking about for years. And the headline in WBOC TV, local robberies could be related to heroin abuse. So it's good to see them catching up to, and I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I mean sort of funny about it, but because we have talked about it so long, it's just like amazing. But it really is good to see them catch up. I mean, the awareness needs to rise. I don't know if they talk about the recent robberies. They talk about a robbery from Surf Bagel. They talk about a robbery at the bank, robbery at the Subway and the donut place, and other robberies. Here's what it says in the story. Both Delaware State Police and local police departments agree that 9 times out of 10, the driving force behind such crimes is the same: heroin. Yeah, well, we knew that. Chief Banks is quoted. He's the Rehoboth Beach Police Chief. With the heroin, it's a depressant and they need a fix. They physically get ill without it, so they really crave the drug. So they go back and commit these crimes in order to be able to get money somehow to be able to pay for their habit, unquote. All right. Delaware State Police and Rehoboth Police said while upping enforcement is important, treatment is a big factor in decreasing these local robberies. Chief Banks, quote, they go hand in hand. You can't do one without the other. Until then, this is the BOC, that's what they said. Until then, police say local businesses should also rely on security camera to catch the criminals in the act. All right, I agree. The scary part is we've had some people say that they believe we're not at the apex of it. We're only at the beginning phase, that it will grow and get worse before it ever gets any better. The heroin problem. There's always been a drug problem. Even heroin's been around. It's never been like this. Never been this bad. Never. Okay, it's a huge concern, I think. It's just something you need to know about. Okay, so anyway, thank you. That's from WBOC. Hey, speaking of surveillance pictures, you know, there was a robbery, attempted armed robbery at the Exxon in Ellendale the other night. Someone came in with a gun, unknown type of gun, with a mask on and a long-sleeve white shirt and a black shirt over that. The Delaware State Police finally released apparently the surveillance video of this. It looks like about a 1974 era picture of Bigfoot that somebody, one of those, we finally have photographic evidence of Bigfoot, and it's this blurry image. I don't understand even in 2015 how you can it's even possible to take a picture that is so blurry. I don't even understand the technical ability. Did you see that? There's zero in focus, Kelly, in that surveillance picture. It's not anybody's fault. I'm just saying it's weird.
Much useless. Useless.
There's zero.
Useless. I don't even know why the police released them.
Well, it shows kind of what the guy was wearing.
It
shows what he was wearing.
Yes, it shows a ghostly image, Dan.
But Isn't it weird when you look at that nothing close to the camera, mid to the camera, or even distance in the store is in focus? There's zero in focus. I don't understand how a surveillance camera can even do that.
I don't know.
Do you? You know. I mean, you could pick up a little camera, USB camera and some software and have a sharper, crisper image than that. Maybe it's on Betamax video or something. I don't know what it is. But anyway, we have it. The picture is up. It is some sort of, fuzzy figure with a long sleeve white shirt, maybe even white gloves, it looks like, maybe. And a black shirt over top holding some sort of a gun and some sort of vague mask. Anyway, if you're watching on the YouTube stream, you're seeing that right now on camera. All right. 839-1059. Anyway, it's an interesting little tale because the Delaware State Police also then release, again, the tips on what to do if you're robbed, how to avoid being robbed, what happens when you're robbed, what to do, how to act, how to report it. They're putting out those tips for those of us who live, work, and play here. I think it's important to know. 747, and that story at Delaware1059.com. Also shared it on my Facebook page, Facebook.com/Dan Gaffney Show. Robin Bryson with Traffic Watch.
Dan, traffic's moving pretty well around the region this morning. A little bit of busy activity along 13, certainly as you head northbound past Route 10 and up into downtown Dover. Although no major problems right there. No trouble on Route 1 through the Dover Toll Plaza. In Sussex County, a little bit of congestion along 13, in and out of Seaford, around Concord Road especially. If you're traveling the 113 corridor, a little bit of congestion through Millsboro at 24, and then through Georgetown at Route 9. 24 from Millsboro out toward Route 1 has been running fairly well so far this morning. I'm Robin Bryson with Traffic Watch on Delaware 105.9. Know before you go. Get Traffic Watch updates with me, Robin Bryson, and our entire team watching Delmarva roadways weekday mornings and afternoons on Delaware 105.9.
Today, mostly sunny skies, high 72. It'll be a clear night tonight, low 60. For tomorrow, some sun, then increasing cloudiness and breezy. A shower or thunderstorm late in the afternoon, high 77. For tomorrow, light cloudy with a bit of rain, low 59. And then Saturday, cloudy, breezy, and cooler, high 63. Patchy clouds on Saturday night with the low at 53. And then sun and patchy clouds on Sunday with a high of 66. I'm Steve Williams in the Delaware 105.9 Weather Center.
Lanchester Sheds and Gazebos is your #1 source for home improvement services. Stay tuned to see how you can get 10% off your next purchase. From sheds to gazebos to horse barns and playsets, they can handle it all. There is no job too big or too small. Due to their affinity for quality and precision, they guarantee exact results with complete attention to detail. Family-owned Lanchester Sheds and Gazebos delivers outstanding customer service, quick turnarounds, and competitive prices with efficiency and pride. Their friendly team will work one-on-one with you to ensure that each project is completed to your satisfaction. Call Lee or Diane at the Lincoln, Delaware location, 491-4981. Mention this radio ad to get 10% off a building purchase. Located right on Route 113 in Lincoln at Johnson Road. Visit their website at lcsheds.com. Quality built Amish sheds and gazebos with the best building warranty in the business. Financing is available in-house, so give Lee or Diane a call today, 491-4981. And don't forget to tell them you heard this ad on Delaware 105.9 and get 10% off your next purchase at Lanchester Sheds and Gazebos.
Don't let the ghost of credit pass keep you from the car you deserve. Have a job clearing $350 a week? We want to improve your credit today. At Berlin Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, take $12,000 off with any trade on select new 2015 Ram trucks in stock. Crew cabs, 4x4s, even the Ram 1500. Take $12,000 off of MSRP. And Berlin Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram will take any trade, even if you still owe thousands on it. New 2015 Jeep Renegade Sport, just $249 per month lease. We want to approve your credit today.
And remember, Jim wants to see you in the coolest small town in America,
Berlin, Maryland. Berlin Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Old Ocean City Boulevard, Berlin, Maryland.
Qualified buyers. Credit may affect terms. Balance of trade carried over to new loan. Discount based on MSRP of $47,835 with $4,500 factory rebates to dealer and $7,500 dealer discount. Model number DS6H98. Offers not in combination.
The Delaware Solid Waste Authority will hold an electronic goods collection and document shredding event on Saturday, October 10th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Rehoboth Beach Convention Center parking lot in Rehoboth. DSWA wants you to drop off your electronic equipment such as old computers, VCRs, printers, CD players, Game Boys, televisions, microwaves, phones, and answering machines are just a few of the items accepted. Residents can also bring up to 2 file boxes of personal confidential papers for shredding free of charge. Papers with staples or paper clips are accepted. Shredding your sensitive documents is one way to reduce your risk of becoming an identity theft victim. This event is restricted to Delaware residents only. No commercial services, please. The DSWA will accept these items at the Rehoboth Beach Convention Center parking lot in Rehoboth, rain or shine, on Saturday, October 10th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. For more information, please call the Citizens Response Line at 1-800-404-7080 or visit the website at dswa.com.
Choosing a bank is an important decision and one people don't like to make too often. It involves consideration of convenience, cost, and last but not least, trust. Community Bank Delaware wants to earn your trust. They're locally owned and managed, and all of their policy and banking decisions are made right here in Sussex County. Stop in and see for yourself the difference a community bank can make. Community Bank Delaware in Lewis and Rehoboth. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Christina Lassard with Lassard Builders. If you are looking for a new home, one of your biggest challenges is trying to force your family's current and future needs into a specific home plan. At Lassard Builders, our goal is to build a true custom home where you can make changes or add features to one of our plans, or we'll help you design your own. Whether downsizing or expanding, work hand in hand with my father and third-generation builder to build the home that suits your family's current and future needs. Stop by our model home in the East Villages of 5 Points or online at lassardbuilders.com.
Keeping it local is important to third-generation builder Brian Lassard and the Lassard Builders team. They are loyal to local contractors, businesses, and continually give back by volunteering and serving on nonprofit boards. They have a new blog called Live Delaware, dedicated to supporting locally owned and operated organizations. Join in by going to lassardbuilders.com and clicking on the Live Delaware tab. Live Delaware is just a reminder to keep it local in the nation's small wonder.
Identity theft is a crime that affects millions of Americans each year. Defend yourself against identity theft at a free community shred event sponsored by the Delaware Attorney General's Office. Bring up to 3 boxes of documents with personal info and shred them on Saturday, October 10th from 9 to 1 at the Del Dot Administration Building, just south of the 13113 split in Dover. That's Saturday, October 10th from 9 to 1. Learn more by visiting attorneygeneral.delaware.gov or call 1-800-220-5424.
Whether you're renovating, buying, or selling a home, one important step to take is to have the property inspected for things like asbestos, mold, mildew, and other contaminants that can seriously affect the home's indoor air quality and structure. Call the experts at Sussex Environmental Consultants. They'll be able to identify the problem and create a remediation plan specifically tailored to suit your needs. Call 302-947-1810 or visit online at sussexenvironmental.com.
I'm with Colin Walls of Walls Service Center in downtown Milford, Delaware. Colin, you're kind of experts when it comes to a lot of things with your automobile, including air conditioning service.
That's right, Dan, and it's not just cars. We work on lots of different things that have an automotive AC in it. Anything from a dump truck, a backhoe, farm equipment. If it has an automotive-style air conditioning in it, we can take care of it.
Warranty on the compressor, I hear?
Dan, if you get a brand new compressor, you will get a lifetime warranty on it. It's kind of unheard of in this industry.
Speaking of warranties, you're a federated car care center. What does that mean exactly?
Well, it means you get a nationwide warranty, Dan. And also, more specifically, we have our own warranty that is just a little bit better than everybody else's. We actually give a 15-month, 15,000-mile warranty on all repairs, and each specific part may have a longer warranty. Give us a call, 422-8110, or stop in at 220 Northeast Front Street, or check us out on the web, wallservicecenter.com.
7:55, Delaware 105.9. Good morning. Coming up, what some people call the myth of changing the oil in your car every 3,000 miles. What? We'll talk about that. We have an opportunity coming up here on Delaware 105.9. Also, brain trauma and high school football, a new study to talk about. When it comes to reading paper books or e-reader, the paper book seems to be making a comeback. And there's some who are wondering if e-reader was a temporary fad. I don't know. We'll see. Coming up, among other things here, some of the little stories we have for you. Delaware 105.9, 756, local news, and Kelly Steele on the way.
Sales, service, training, there's no better place to come than Shooter's Choice. Shooter's Choice offers you everything you'll need from training to shooting sports, firearms, and accessories. Browse their large selection of shotguns, hard-to-find guns, supplies, and accessories for men and women. If they don't have it, they can get it. Shooter's Choice offers professional service for every gun they sell. They also offer several firearm safety courses and Delaware's concealed carry class monthly, with information on all the safety and instructional classes you need to operate your handgun safely. Don't miss visiting shooterschoicede.com and take advantage of their weekday specials, like half-price range time, firearms and ammunition specials, and even accessory specials. Shooter's Choice, Delaware's first choice in firearms. Open every day and located across from the Walmart in Dover. Online at shooterschoicede.com.
Always on target. Shooter's Choice, yeah, yeah. Shooter's Choice, always on target.
October is National Pizza Month, and everyone is a winner at Grotto Pizza. That's right, everyone is a winner. Everyone wins a reward on his or her Swore Rewards Club card on every visit. Every visit also earns you a chance to win the grand prize of $1,000. In second place, you can win an iPad. We are giving away over $50,000 in prizes, rewards, and discounts during National Pizza Month. You must be a Swore Rewards Club member to win, but don't worry, membership is free and easy to join. Visit Grotto Pizza.
That wasn't supposed to happen. We're going to hear more about that in a minute. Okay, I smell make good. I got make good all over that one. Kelly, are you ready over there?
For
the news.
Oh, sure. I'm ready
right.
for that.
Well, then let's do it as we continue waking up with you here this morning.
Local news first on Delaware 105.9.
Delaware 105.9 news time. Already 7:59. Where does the time go? Meteorologist Steve Williams says going to be mostly sunny today. A high of 72. Clear tonight. An overnight low of 60. Tomorrow's going to start out sunny. Increasing clouds by Friday afternoon. Rain possible tomorrow night, maybe into Saturday, but nothing like we saw last weekend. A high of 77 degrees tomorrow. A Seaford motorcyclist is killed in a crash with an SUV in Frankfort. Delaware State Police say it happened just after 5 o'clock Wednesday afternoon as a 17-year-old Frankfort teen was driving a Chevy Tahoe southbound on Pepper Road. He was approaching the intersection of Gum Road. 20-year-old Toyana Knight Jr. was driving his Suzuki motorcycle northbound on Pepper Road. He was also approaching the intersection. Police say the Tahoe driver failed to perceive the motorcycle approaching. He turned left directly into its path. Knight, who was wearing his helmet, was pronounced dead at a local hospital. From the first town in the first state, this is WXDE Lewis. It's 8 o'clock.